celebrate the launch of Move to Heal in Sri Lanka, a book that has already made a mark since its first unveiling in Melbourne, Australia. Today's occasion is especially meaningful as we welcome the book and its author back to the land where his journey began. Move to Heal is not just a title, it is an invitation to rediscover the power of movement, mindfulness, and self-compassion in the healing process. Through its pages, the author shares his personal experience with professional insight, offering readers a pathway towards emotional and physical restoration. We are honored to have the author, a proud son of Sri Lankan soil, among us this morning. His story, his work, his words remind us that healing through movement in all its forms transcends borders and cultures. This Sri Lankan launch has been made possible through the warm invitation and support of Dr. Asela Ratnayaka, the convener, whose belief in the importance of healing and holistic well-being has brought us together today. Today's event will be highlighting two special aspects. Firstly, the launch of the book, followed by a lecture on health coaching after the formalities. As we open this special event, let us celebrate not only the remarkable book, but also the spirit of resilience, transformation, and homecoming that it represents. To begin the proceedings of the day, may I please invite the distinguished guests to come forward to light the ceremonial oil lamp. Firstly, I would like to invite Dr. Arjuna Tilakaratna, Deputy Director of Health Service, MS2, Director Teaching Hospital, Peradeniya, Professor Rohan Jayasekara, Emeritus Professor of Anatomy, Dr. Upul Madahapala, President, Sri Lanka Sports Medicine Association, Dr. Jayantha Dasanayaka, author, Move to Heal, Dr. Asela J.B. Ratnayaka, Consultant Sport and Exercise Medicine Physician, Mr. Sajid Jailal, Director, National Institute of Sports Sciences. Gentlemen, if I can get you to move forward and light the oil lamp for us. May I please invite on stage Dr. Asela J.B. Ratnayaka, Consultant Sport and Exercise Medicine Physician, the convener of the program, to come on the podium and say a few words about Dr. Jayantha Dasanayaka.
Tilakaratna, the Deputy Director General, Health Services, MS Part 1, actually now he has promoted to Part 1, and also he's the sole authority of Ministry of Health in terms of developing sports and exercise medicine, Sri Lanka. and Dr. Jayanta Dasanayaka, who is the author of the today book, Dr. Upul Madapola, consultant sports and exercise medicine physician, the president of Sri Lanka Sports Medicine Association. So, and all the other distinguished invitees joining us for this special event, I give you a very warm welcome and thank you very much for attending despite of all your busy schedules as well as bad weather. So when Dr. Jayanta informed me that he had authored this remarkable book and that it's already had their ceremonial launch taking place in Melbourne, Australia, I felt it was only fitting that we celebrate this achievement here in Sri Lanka, his home country. This publication is not only a comprehensive and evidence-based guide on physical activity and exercises that is for holistic health management, but it also marks a historic milestone. For the first time, the Human Kinetic Publishers has published a book authored by an Asian scholar. That is none other than our very own Dr. Jayanta Dasanayaka. So this is indeed a proud and defining moment, not only for him, but for the entire nation. It reminds us of the importance of integrating globally accepted scientific interventions, such as physical activity and exercises into our health system for the prevention and management of all chronic diseases. So, ladies and gentlemen, your presence here today reflects your dedication to scientific advancement and your appreciation for those who strive to improve healthcare through research, education, and innovation. I'm especially honored to welcome our guest of honor, Dr. Arjuna Tilakaratne, the Director General of Health Services, the Medical Services 2, and Director of the Teaching Hospital Peradeniya. Your presence here is truly significant and reflecting your genuine interest in physical activity and exercise beyond your official commitment. As the authorized person for the subject of sports and exercise medicine at the Ministry of Health, Sri Lanka, a very special welcome goes to Star of the Day, the author himself, Dr. Jayanta Dasanayaka, an internationally respected scholar whose work combines years of experience, quality research, and evidence-based practice. We are eager to hear his address later on this topic, health coaching, empowering behavior through movement. On behalf of the organizing committee, I also extend our warmest welcome to Dr. Upul Madapola, President of Sri Lanka Sports Medicine Association, and I would say he's the pioneer person who started the Exercises Medicine Chapter Sri Lanka. Dr. Lalit Wijeratne, Consultant Rheumatologist and third past President of Sri Lanka Sports Medicine Association, and Professor Rohan Jayasekara, Emeritus Professor of Anatomy and former Dean of the Faculty of Medicine, and is the second President of Sri Lanka Sports Medicine Association. Mr. Salia Veerasurya, freelance management consultant, who's going to deliver a few words about the book today. We are equally honored to welcome all other past presidents and all the members of Sri Lanka Sports Medicine Association, Mr. Sajid Jayalal, Director of the National Institute of Sports Sciences, Mr. Priyantha Ekanayaka, the President of the Council, National Sports Council, and sports coaches and some athletes who present here today, and all boys of St. Sylvester's College, Kandy, and all other well-wishers and media representatives and guests. Your presence adds great value to this gathering. A special welcome to our sponsors, Principal Healthcare UK, Mr. Lahiru, Mr. Darshana, and Mr. Lakruan and their team. We trust that today's program will be both inspiring and intellectually enriching, and let us use this occasion to strengthen our professional bonds, share knowledge, and work together towards excellence in healthcare through the healing power of movement. Thank you very much. And coming into my very small, the task which was given, but I would say small, but that's one of the biggest tasks again, give an introduction to Dr. Jayantha Dasanayake at the same time. Ladies and gentlemen, it is indeed a profound pleasure and privilege to introduce one of the most distinguished global figure in the field of epidemiology and health sciences, Dr. Jayantha Dasanayake. Affectionately known as J, we have another J in this audience, and Dr. Dasanayake was born in Kandy and received his school education at St. Sylvester's College, Kandy. Following his schooling, he began his career as a sports officer, a journey that soon ignited his passion for exploring the interconnected worlds of sports and health sciences. Dr. Dasanayake earned his PhD from the Department of Medicine, University of Melbourne, and his Master of Applied Sciences in Sports Science from the University of Ballarat, and completed a postdoctoral fellowship at the University of Alberta, Canada. He has served as a lecturer at Victoria University, the University of Ballarat, and Monash University, while also continuing to chronic disease prevention program across diverse regions in the world. With over 25 years of international experience spanning Australia, Canada, and South Asia, Dr. Dasanayake's unwavering dedication as a researcher and educator in the physical activity and public health is reflected in his numerous international publications. His remarkable work culminates in the Move to Heal textbook, a landmark contribution and now a prominent global reference in the field, what we are about to unveil ceremonially and proudly. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in warm welcoming Dr. Jayantha Dasanayake.
Thank you, Dr. Ratnayake, for the warm welcome. And I will now call upon Dr. Upul Madahapula, Consultant Sport and Exercise Medicine Physician, President, Sri Lanka Sports Medicine Association, to address the gathering as well.
Good morning. Venerable Thero, sports scientist, writer, great son of Mother Lanka, Dr. Jayantha Dasanayake, and distinguished guest, my dear teachers, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen. So it's an really happy moment today where I stand in front of my teachers, those who lay down the main pillars of Sri Lanka Sports Medicine Association. So now we stand in front of them and proudly. So it's really a happy moment today. Sir, Prof. Ran Jayasekara, Dr. Vijayaratna, and Dr. Jayantha Dasanayake. We were really entering the sports medicine field, so they were the giants that time. So thank you very much, Dr. Jayantha. And exercise, the role of exercise is known prehistoric era. Even when the Lord Buddha's time, so they introduce walking meditation, or it's called Sakman Bhavanava, walking meditation, to prevent. They have identified a couple of young monks died. So they thought it was because of the sedentary lifetime. So when they are doing meditation, it was completely sedentary. So they introduced this Sakman Bhavana as a medication for the Buddhist monks. So the prehistoric era, even they recognized the physical activity and exercise as a medication. So the Sri Lanka Sports Medicine Association got this concept into that, and we introduced Exercise is Medicine program. So Exercise is Medicine is a global initiative really, so they laid down by the American College of Sports Medicine. Happy to say the Sri Lanka Sports Medicine Association also part of this global village, and we have our own team called Exercise is Medicine Sri Lanka. So this journey started almost 2017, young doctors, including myself. So we got the opportunity to attend the American College of Sports Medicine annual academic sessions. There we met pioneer American College of Sports Medicine president called Dr. Robert Salis. So he's the one who introduced this sports and exercise medicine concept to us. So then we got the opportunity to attend a 2 days program, EIM beginners program. So there we came back and we start Exercise is Medicine program in Sri Lanka. So then we got the opportunity to attend the EIM Asia regional meeting in Hong Kong. So there we met a pioneer in Exercise is Medicine in Singapore called Prof. Benedict Tan. Under the Prof. Benedict Tan, we lay down all the concept of Exercise is Medicine in Sri Lanka. So next year, the same year, we got the opportunity to get the training in Singapore, Exercise is Medicine Center, including Dr. Angana, Dr. Asela, myself, more than 20 doctors we went there, and we got the comprehensive training called exercise prescription. You know, all the doctors we prescribe, like if we prescribe antibiotic, we calculate the dose according to the weight, according to their age and how many days, that sort of thing. So exercise also we are giving a prescription now. Doctors prescribing exercise prescription. So we got the training of exercise prescription, and it was a really interesting initiative for us. Now we are continuing that exercise prescription program. So the next year we had a MOU with American College of Sports Medicine, and officially we enter into the EIM global concept. Now Sri Lanka Sports Medicine also, or the Sri Lanka also, one global center of exercise is medicine. So we have a mission and a vision. So our mission is to promote physical activity is an integral part of prevention and treatment of non-communicable diseases. As Dr. Arjuna knows, the non-communicable diseases is the one now which playing a bigger role in Sri Lanka. Our elderly population or the senior population is getting grower day by day. And this non-communicable diseases is becoming a big headache or the big problem in health sector. Now, if we can prevent and if we can treat from exercise point of view, if we can prevent non-communicable disease, that would be a great support for our health sector. So our vision is to physically active to be considered by all healthcare providers. That's what we are doing. We introduce physical activity and exercise for our doctors to prescribe as a prescription or as a treatment for the community. So our goal is to increase the number of healthcare professionals who are assessing, prescribing, and counseling patients in physical activity, to increase the number of clients attending healthcare institutions, to increase the number of qualified exercise professionals. So we, the exercise professionals are there, but the Sri Lanka, we have the biggest problem is we don't have really recognized, scientific, educated exercise professionals. That's what we are starting now. So we are in a way with Dr. Arjuna. So we have a long way to go for that. To increase the public awareness about the available capacity of healthcare system and organization. So we have almost 16 sports medicine units all around Sri Lanka, from Jaffna to Hambantota. So anybody can visit our sports medicine unit. Our sports medicine doctors always ready to give an exercise prescription for them. So the infrastructure is like this. Minister of Health, basically, the Dr. Arjuna Tilakaratna is the one who is in the top of our administrative setup. Deputy Director General Medical Services, from there, teaching hospital, all the Director General hospitals. So not only that, including Sri Lanka Navy, Air Force, Army, and Minister of Sports, Minister of Education, we all working together to develop physical activity and exercise among the public. So what we have recently done, we are doing all the public awareness campaigns, schools and youth fitness programs. We do community exercise promotion and fitness events. And recently we had a national sports medicine conference where the Deputy Minister was the chief guest and Dr. Arjuna Tilakaratna was there. And the exercise prescription for NCD preventions and the leading ladies there, madam. So from NCD department, Dr. Sherin, she helped us always. From the NCD side, we always working together, and so we are helping them to promote physical activity and exercise, and training programs for coaches and trainers we do, and media and digital outreach. So this is what we have done to promote exercise and physical activity through the EIM, through the Sri Lanka Sports Medicine Association, Dr. Jayantha. So now it's turn from your side, and we can work together, and we can do a lot to prevent non-communicable diseases and promote physical activity and exercise among Sri Lankans, and to have a healthy sporty nation in Sri Lanka. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Madahapala, for the enlightening presentation. May I now introduce Mr. Salya Veerasurya, a freelance management consultant who has followed multiple Harvard Medical School publications, is actively involved in physical activity programs, and also the first person to have read the book in Sri Lanka, to give you a reader's point of view. Mr. Veerasurya, can we please have you on stage?
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It was a few days ago, Dr. Jayantha, known as Dr. J for us, called me and asked me whether it was possible for me to convey my takeout from the Move to Wheel book. Now, when he was about to finish writing the book, he spoke to me. Actually, regularly we speak to each other, and he told me that he's going to launch this book. Knowing him, I was so happy. I knew that this is going to be a real masterpiece. So I said, where can I buy the book? He said, wait. Still the book is not published. I'm just doing the final part of the editing, and very soon it will be published and circulated. So your main role would be, if you can help me, to popularize this book among the society in Sri Lanka, wherever you know these people. Please help me to do that. I said, yes, knowing you, I will certainly do that. And I was pestering him, when are you going to launch this? Then he sent me a note saying that, yes, the book has been launched. It is available with the online printers. So I went to Amazon, I went to so many others. Book is not there. I went back to him and said, no, it is not there. So he told me, try Amazon Australia, which I did. And I managed to download the book. And ladies and gentlemen, I think everyone here and outside should read that book. I have read couple of publications from Harvard Medical Publications just to improve my knowledge on physical activity and or many subjects. But this is one book which comprises all these things. You don't need to go and find the content that is there in many publications. So this is one book. I'm failing in my duties if I do not say how I met Dr. Jayanta. So way back in mid-1980s, 86, he was a handsome young man, a sports officer attached to the sports ministry. And at Gammudava, they were running a stall to educate the people of the importance of diet, exercise, etc. So, being a youngster myself, of course then I had a lot of hair on my head, now I have lost all that. I went to the stall, there were certain things that you need to do. So that is the place I met Dr. Jayanta, and he told me, we got to know each other well. He told me, why don't you come over to my office? We'll discuss how you should approach this, your fitness programs, or you change your lifestyle, and I will help you. So that is the start of our long-standing friendship. When he asked me to talk about the book, I was wondering now, what the hell should I, talk, because I'm not a professional critic of publications. I'm just a layman. That is exactly what I want you to do. As a layman, just lay out what your takeout is. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is what I'm going to do in the next few minutes. First, let me talk about the layout and the content of this book. And right from the material is structured in a way that makes it a very easy read and an interesting one. Because sometimes, as a layman, sometimes when you read, if there is no free flow of chapters, halfway you might want to close it and keep and then try to do it on another day, but that another day doesn't happen. So I found this very interesting for a layman like me, who has been always very keen to learn about health and exercise. So I find this book, both interesting and invaluable. To make it very easy read, it comes in two parts. Part 1 has 16 chapters, which deals in chronic diseases, recommendations and strategies for the management and prevention of CVDs. Part 2 comes with 10 chapters. Part 2 has 5 chapters outlining the recommended activities to live a healthy life. Now in the part 1, or the CVDs, or the CDs, sorry, covers diabetes, cardiovascular health, cancer prevention, mental and brain health, arthritis care, managing obesity and hypertension. So the key areas. Then on the second chapters, there are 5 chapters which talks about the action and the recommendations to prevent what we just discussed. And the methods, very briefly, are very interesting. First, he says, when you start, you have to have a measurement criteria to understand what you are doing is helping you or working for you. For this, there are things he suggests in the book, from a simple journal to be kept, to the latest what you find in the market, like the digital wearables. And I think, being a person who is using these wearables and the apps, I find it very convenient and very efficient, because you can monitor your condition on a daily or a weekly or a monthly basis. Then it goes to talk of the problems faced in people from moving into sedentary life into active life, right? How do you do that? We know with the development of the world, people have become lazy because things happen with a push of a button. And we don't need to walk to the boutique. We seldom walk to do any other things. We like to sit and do whatever that is required, because you can do that today. So he talks of implementation challenges, which I believe would be very important to the professionals like the sports medicine doctors and the others who are doing this, to understand and see how best we can get more and more people joining in this. The doctor who spoke before me said, our population is aging. Yes, that's true, like me, right? So what do we do? I was in Singapore, worked for 10 years, and was so amazed. The programs they have. You go in the morning for a walk to the park. You can join any group. There's no fees or whatever it is levied. When you go on the park, there is a group which is doing Tai Chi. There's another group doing dancing. There's another group doing something else. So you walk or run to the park, and then if you want to do some activity, you can join any group. And these are, mind you, conducted by master athletes or seniors like me, right? You go to the airport, Singapore airport, and you see a lot of seniors who are there directing the passengers, because actually the seniors' English is better than the ones who are educated in Singapore now, right? So they work there voluntarily to guide the people into different areas or terminals. Now, this is the way that they are utilizing the people. So, the benefits I have derived from reading this book is basically, I have realigned my lifestyle, and especially in the areas of exercise, diet, mental health, sleep, etc. So, which has helped me a lot to fine-tune what I know and what I do. So my recommendation to all of you, especially the medical professionals and the sports professionals, let's see how we can get this to the next step. So read this book and see where we can get together and get Dr. J's help in getting this together. Having talked and having published papers is not going to help. We have to actively get this into our society. If we are to stem all these CDs and build a healthy nation. So, in conclusion, I like to thank Dr. J for compiling such an important, timely publication especially drawing on his superior knowledge, extensive experience in health, nutrition, exercise, and other related fields. All his strategies are supported by over 500 plus research papers. And I asked him how long it took. He said it took him over 3 years. So I think we are lucky to have a publication like that, which doesn't only say that this is what you need to do, but supported with real evidence. So that is my takeout, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much, the organizing committee and Jay, for giving me this opportunity of giving my candid views about the book. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Veerasurya, for breaking down the book into terms that all of us, including the specialist, will understand. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to bring Dr. Jayantha Dasnaik on stage to present the concept and content of the book, Move to Heal. Can we have a loud round of applause?
So, Move to Heal, physical activity and exercise strategies for prevention and management of chronic diseases. Thank you very much for coming for book launch today. Now, I really want to welcome today for my presentation who came to witness this book launch. My special thanks to Venerable Theros and Dr. Hansika Vijayamuni, Dr. Arjuna Tilakaratna, Professor Vahan Jayasekara, Dr. Lalit Vijayaratna, and Dr. Upul Madhapala, who are attending for my book launch. It's my great pleasure to welcome colleagues, my friends, and distinguished guests and members of St. Silas's College, OBA, Colombo. So I'm going to talk about my book and how the way you use this book as a roadmap to health. Now, this is the overview of the presentation. The part 1 is introduction, purpose, the main part of the book, conclusion. Then the second part today, so I'm going to talk the concept of health coaching and empower behavior change through movement. This is the latest concept to change, behavior change. We use in the health sports coaches and we convert them to health coaches. So I'm going to talk in the latter part because we have a huge problem of capacity because the way the chronic disease like rising in the world. So we are using, this is one of the techniques we use, and we'll talk about in that presentation. Now, before I start the presentation, I need to talk about the global burden of diseases. The reason I'm talking is my book is focusing global perspective and regional perspective in the world. So not only Sri Lanka, but it works all over the world. So therefore, we need to look at what is the global burden. These are the prevalence of disease globally, according to WHO. You can have a look. So you can see cardiovascular disease is number 1. So number 2 is other NCDs. Sorry. Other NCDs. Then there's in Sri Lanka this one, and diabetes, chronic respiratory disease, and so on. So this is the burden of disease in Sri Lanka, as mentioned earlier. Cardiovascular disease number 1, then type 2 diabetes, arthritis, and depression. And physical inactivity contributes 33% of women and 19% of men. Obesity is 25% women and 17% men. Then also there's emerging risk of increasing physical activity and obesity among little kids. Now the other problem is the aging population. By 2050, the aging population increases around 50% in Sri Lanka. Like the aging is one of the key risk factors for number of chronic diseases, as Dr. Madhapal said, heart disease, diabetes and arthritis and dementia and cancer. So therefore, we need to think about their level of physical activities and also developing program for them. Now, when you look at the regional burden, this is the South Asian burden. If you compare with the global comparison, so South Asians die 5 to 10 years earlier than Western world. The main reason is internal migration, urbanization, economic transition, lifestyle change, and sedentary type of jobs, and decrease of physical inactivity. Just have a look this one. See the difference. Sorry. So, see the difference in this graph. That's a 10-year gap. So we want to know why such a big gap, 10 years. There are 4 risk factors for chronic diseases. One is genetics, then the behavioral or lifestyle risk factors, biomedical, and environmental. The behavioral risk factor comes smoking, physical inactivity, diet, and harmful use of alcohol. So biomedical risk factors belong to overweight, obesity, high blood pressure, and high blood cholesterol, and impaired glucose tolerance. And environmental risk factors, environmental support, economic factors, culture, and psychological stresses. But we can't do anything about the genetics, but all the other risk factors are modifiable. Now, if you look at the non-communicable disease, physical inactivity represents all the major chronic diseases, cardiovascular disease, diabetes, except chronic respiratory disease. Physical activity is one of the risk factors for all the diseases. Now, we need to talk about where we went wrong. We need to look back and see what was happened to us. For this survival process, for our ancestors gather food from the hunting and farming. When they hunt, they utilize human energy and movement for running behind animal, jumping over a fence, and throwing stones and kill the animal. Right? That was our survival process. And also, in order to do that, they need to have strength, they need to have flexibility, and they need to have endurance. Without these physical qualities, they couldn't perform the task. So therefore, it's very important, the physical qualities. However, this process has been changed after the Industrial Revolution in the 20th century. So, physical activity has decreased over the past decade, the landmark of modernization and mechanization. And whatever we did, we transferred to the ancestors, what they did by manually, we transferred into machinery. Therefore, further decline our level of physical activity. So they need to have a physical activity to find food for the purpose of survival. The changes of lifestyle eventually lead to lifestyle-related diseases. So that's why we call lifestyle-related diseases. Now, just imagine what has happened to us in the past, worse and now. This is where we now. We used manual farming, now it has gone to machinery, that we used for domestic process, cutting, chop and cooking. Then later on, gas burners and cookers. There's no physical activity for me, mothers. Then we moved to, those days we walked to school, walked back from school. Then now it was changed to school vans. And now it has worse than now they use it 3-wheelers to go to school. There's no physical activity. There's no activities for children. Now, then the other thing is we used to go and see the friends. Then we cycle them, then walk them and meet them. Now we don't need to do, Facebook is there. FaceTime is there. Right? We don't need to go anywhere. So everything is there. So therefore, that's very much sedentary. This was the story behind the problem. Now, look at how the hand pounding, washing clothes, no more. Those are physical activities, nothing else. So we need to look back and see where we went wrong. Look at This is physical activity. And see their figures, unlike us. It's not rocket science. Now it has come to modern digitalization. Now the digitalization came, travel, you were sitting on a car for hours and hours with the traffic. Even back in Melbourne it's same, unlike here. You are sitting on the car hours and hours, or maybe half an hour. Then sitting in front of the computer whole day. Whole day we are in front of the computer. And kids sitting in front of the television. There's no any other recreation. They're watching the television, especially senior citizens. When they get older, they don't do anything, just sit watching television. They become worse. So therefore, sitting, work, domestic setting, and travel. So the current era, these are the problems that we are sitting. Now, this is called sedentary lifestyle. There's something somewhere went wrong. This is where we here. Then they hunt. Now we are here. See the difference. Now we need to find an answer. But we need to go to the development. But same time we need to find an answer. Francis will go. Now, I just want to say, talk about the history of physical activity, how it was related to chronic diseases. This was the pioneer study conducted by Professor Jeremy Morris. This was conducted around 73 years ago. Listen to me, right? 73 years ago he was conducted this study. At that time, London Transport Board. Now, you know the double-decker bus in London, the bus conductors, they walk up and down in the bus. Bus drivers, they're sitting on the seat whole day, right? Then after some time, those drivers tend to die. It was a huge problem for London Transport. We spent money for training them. They were dying around 30, 40, 50, the age. So then this problem, so they have handed it over to Professor Jeremy Morris to investigate. Finally, his study found the lack of physical activity would be for the problem for cardiovascular disease, especially MI, myocardial infarction. Right? Since then, so we knew 73 years ago, physical activity is associated with mainly cardiovascular disease. We'll forget about the other ones. So now we are in 2024. Still 31% of adults in the world die due to physical inactivity. Just imagine how many years. Still we couldn't control the problem. Still are the same. And also, how many people, even this audience, know what is the amount of physical activity per week we need to do. So generally we need to do for a week 150 to 300 minutes per week according to new guidelines. Not only that, for 2 days a week, you need to do not strength training, resistance training. That is the latest guideline. How many people in this audience knows this? A lot of people doesn't know. There's no awareness. Right? Later on I'll talk. So therefore, those are the guidelines. So regular movements reduce the risk of cardiovascular disease, diabetes, depression, and osteoporosis. So that is what I want to say, the physical activity. Now, if you look at, this is the Sri Lankan prevalence of physical activity. Right? Now, we are around 35% of Sri Lankan male and female are physically inactive. Then the overweight and obesity above that. Then the overweight here, but if you compare both, the overweight is increasing. But overweight, not only overweight, the central obesity is in South Asia, biggest problem is central obesity, not the overweight, because we need to take the Asian calculation, body mass index. What I found is a lot of papers, they don't measure South Asian body mass index. So that is what the problem. So therefore, everybody should be aware, not the overweight, the central obesity need to be tackled carefully. Now we are coming to the aging population chronic disease. So quickly have a look. Now, as Dr. Madhapal said, the aging population is biggest problem by 2050. Aging doesn't come overnight. You got to prepare for aging. We all getting aging, right? That is the message I want to tell you. We are getting aging, therefore you need to be careful how to face the aging. And same time, how to prevent the aging. This is the answer, physical activity, right? Once you get age, but you lose your mobility, you lose your strength, then mental well-being. So therefore, physical activity can increase all these factors. As I move, I will explain how we can do. And also, physical activity is meant to be, according to WHO, the cost effectiveness. Every dollar you save from physical activity, spend for physical activity, we can save $3 from the healthcare expenditure, right? So can save some money, even for you. Now I need to talk about the rationale behind why I have written this book. As I mentioned you, because a lot of biggest problem is awareness and understanding about your own health. That's called health literacy, right? The health literacy is a practical guidelines to improve your health knowledge. If you don't have your knowledge about how to understand your own health, you can't improve your health. Therefore, I have written to improve health literacy, my book, and seek and understand and utilize, make informed decisions. That means you need to read and understand and take immediate steps to go and see the health professionals. So without that, you can't prevent diseases. Health is yours, not ours. So you have to take empower. So this book is tell how to take your empowerment to control yourself. And you can't, your wife can't control it, or you can't, you are the person to control, not the doctors, right? Then this evidence-based approach is, I'm talking how to prevent and manage. Now these are the theoretical framework I used to write the book, not simply writing a book. I have used the two theories to merge together. One is health literacy and the active literacy. What happened is when people having a knowledge of your own health literacy, then eventually we can educate the active literacy. Then they move to physical activity and improve their activity level. So those two models, theories I use, health literacy and active literacy. Sometimes back, we did a program with Nugasavana, myself and Dr. Lalit Vijayarandhe about the health literacy. It was a very successful program. It went on very well. So therefore, that's where we need to start. So therefore, I use the health literacy and active literacy combining to build this book. Now I need to tell what is my capacity to write the book. That is very important. I work for this industry, this area for last 40 years around the world. Right? I work as a coach, I work as a lecturer, then I work as an educator, I work as a researcher. And I work in a number of countries. I worked in Sri Lanka for 25 years, then I've worked in Canada, I worked in Australia and UK. Now, my capacity, I work as an exercise physiologist and strength and conditioning coach. So I coach leading national schools in Sri Lanka. As a strength and conditioning coach, I started with Trinity, the coach is here, our head coach. Then after that, after a couple of years, I moved to Isipatana to coach rugby team. So strength and conditioning. So that's where I started with all the aspect of coaching, and I worked all the country. Even now, I coach rules football in Australia as a strength and conditioning coach. That's the hardest sport in Australia. You have to play 2 hours in the field with 4 quarters. Enormous amount of fitness they needed. Then I also work for Special Task Force and Sri Lankan Army, then Special Forces in Sri Lanka as a consultant to fitness, guerrilla fitness. So then my grandchild is STF, So still they are using they said they are still using my strength and conditioning programs and test and measurements. Then in addition to that, I'm an exercise physical activity epidemiologist, and also my background is public health. So as Asela said, those are my strength to write this book. And this was my first academic publication. I think Professor Rohan Jayasekara knows, with Tommy Vikramnayaka. Professor Tommy Vikramnayaka. That was I did in 1991, way back. So we were looking at myself and Professor Vikramnayaka about the anthropometric measurements of Sri Lankan sportsmen and women. But you all aware, anthropometry is a main factor for the development of sports. Right? Without anthropometry, maybe size of the body, sometimes very difficult to go for achievements. So this was the first study we conducted, like 30 years ago. This study we conducted after Columbine. He has done Columbine study, was conducted 47. After 30 years, we both did. Myself, Professor Toby Vikramanayakan, Dr. Anoma Ratnak. Anoma was passed away, both are not anymore. So that's where I start my academic career. Now I want to tell my practical aspects. As Salia said, he met me at the Gamudawa. I was first to start about 40 years ago, risk factor assessment program. There what we did is, when I was in the sports ministry, we set up our centers over there. We measure risk factor assessment. We did VO2 max, then we measure strength, we measure flexibility, then we measure with the caliper measurements about the fat. Then again, we taught them the benefit of exercise, these people who come to the Gamudawa campaign. And after we conduct these tests, we used to give a small leaflet to tell them whether your fitness level and health level, that is health and nutrition level. That's how he came to see me after he conducting that test. I'm talking about the 40 years ago, right? First to conduct this risk factor assessment. Then after that, I realized we need to build the capacity. Right? I have trained the doctors, the Upul knows that we all did train doctors, nurses, and the military force, like military fitness people to conduct. And also same time I taught Buddhist monks. But the reason I taught Buddhist monks, they are just sitting, Dr. Upul Madapala says, now they are sedentary. A lot of people, they are having diabetes and a lot of risk factors. Therefore, I thought I'll teach them young Buddhist monks about the benefit of exercise, and that is faith-based exercise, like promotion, the faith. A lot of people go to temple, they can impart this knowledge. Even now, I'm doing in Melbourne, I have given all the temples in Melbourne treadmills and cycles. When I go to temples, they are just sitting, they don't do anything. I said, Swamini, what are you doing? You need to go and walk. Then they said, Mahatya, within the under right? This is the reality. I said, no, you can't do it that. Then I gave them a treadmills and cycles. So then therefore the faith base is very important intervention process. Then I taught all the school children, it's called exercise through health programs, teachers and trainers. And also one of our prestigious secretaries was in the ministry. Then I have established an international program, National Coaching Foundation with UK. So he is here, Mr. Gunasekara. His wife is representing here. She came to see this witness. And he who would actually guide me to do this. When he went for Canada for one of the conferences, and he told me, Jayanta, this is not the way going well. I'm talking 40 years ago, right? Not now. So he told me to go and do this study in UK. Then this is my background with coaching. Now there are so many books writing in the world. There are 4 books available currently in the global market. Out of 4, 3 were written by the US writers. US-based authors. They are our colleagues. They are my colleagues. And one was written by the UK. I'm the only person who has written my color in this book, representing this part of the world. And this book is widely selling in USA and Canada now. Now, we'll go back to the journey of my book. This is a non-fiction book. There are two types of books people write. One is fiction books, then the other one is non-fiction books. Now, I want to tell clearly when you read the book, I'm talking independent association between chronic diseases and physical activity and exercise. I'm not talking anything diet, right? I'm the first to start sports nutrition in this country. Everybody knows here. I was the first to start. But I didn't talk about the nutrition. I'll tell you later why. So then each chapter talking about the global and regional burden of physical activity and etiology of diseases. So I have then the evidence of prevention and management and rehabilitation of NCD through physical activity. Now this book was compiled purely through evidence. Each and every statement was evidence. Like those evidence are reputed evidence, like Lancet, New England Journal of Medicine, BMJ, BMC, Australian Journal of Public Health. I'm also one of the reviewers for journals, but I don't have anything. But my book, they review perfectly. So therefore, good references, reputed ones. Then there are two parts in the book, part 1 and part 2. There are 16 chapters, and over 560 references are there. Then the glossary, 683. The reason I put the glossary, now when I write the book, now I want to promote, this is the concept, I want to promote the health literacy. You can't promote health literacy if they can't understand the language. Now if you read the certain books, they are written to academics like Professor Rohan Jayasekara, myself, Lalit. But you all can't read, even you can't understand a word. Even sometimes we can't understand until read a couple of times. I thought that is not the way we can promote physical activity. It's a completely different angle I took. Then I wrote to the layman point of view. So that is why I put the glossary. If somebody want to go in detail, you can go and see the glossary. It was the hardest job I ever did. And you all should be thank you to the editors from the authors. Sorry, editors. The editors are Telwell, Canada. So my editor always emphasized me, Doctor, please write this, change. Always he asked me to change to talk to the reader. So because our tone is academic tone. It's very hard to train the brain to write on academic tone. So it has so much time and I spent to convert into that academic tone. Sorry, layman tone. So these are the chapters. First part, I'm talking physical activity and longevity, then the history of, I'm starting from the history of physical activity and evolution of physical activity, where we have come from, where I have shown these slides, so that story is there. Then I'm talking about the Indian history of physical activity, and the Chinese history. They were there for 3,000 years ago, not now. Before us, Hippocrates has spoken, isn't it? Before us. Then I'm talking longevity and physical activity. Some people, recently I did a podcast in Australia. It was widely circulated all over the world. People text me, I have done sports 30 years ago. Now I got a heart attack. Right? If you see that chapter, distance physical exercise and current physical activity difference you can see. Whether it's work or not, now you have to do right to out, like taking medication or like eating. You don't eat like you might say that I ate 30 years ago, now I'm not eating. You can't say that. So therefore, longevity, that I'm talking, very interesting part, starting with that. Then I'm talking cardiovascular disease, and they are talking all the aspects of them. There are a lot of aspects we talk. Each chapter I'm talking prevention, management, and rehabilitation. All three components I'm talking, and with fully evidence-based. Then I'm talking strokes separately, then the arthritis and the diabetes and exercise, and the colon cancer, breast cancer and prostate cancer, and prevention and management. So I'm talking in this book. And especially BMI, body mass index, but I didn't put the Asian norms here because this book is reading globally. I can't put separately. Therefore, I didn't put the, as I mentioned, the Asian norms, I didn't put that, but it's global norms are there. But people want to still read that aspect. You can go to my website. I have updated that information. It's always I'm updated. I'm putting every 2 weeks this information. Then this is the policy part, health policy. Chief guest has arrived, the Doctor, the Deputy Minister of Health. So we'll mostly welcome you, sir. Now we'll move to the lecture. Now this is the health promotion and exercise prescription part. And this part is mainly policy, health policy, sports policy. How are you going to form a health policy or sports policy on physical activity? So I'm talking about that. The first part is method of physical activity measurement and surveillance. Surveillance is number one part in order to develop a policy. Without surveillance, you can't do it. We need to know the current prevalence and future trend. Right? So that chapter I'm talking in detail how to develop a measurement of physical activity and formulation policies. Then I'm talking barriers and facilitators to improve physical activity. When you develop a program, we need to understand what are the barriers for people to participate in physical activity. Without barriers, we can't do. The reason is all barriers are belong to certain policies, right? And certain theories and models. I will talk later on. Those barriers are sitting on these theories and models. We need to find which model we are going to use in Sri Lanka, which model we are going to use in Canada, which model we are going to use in Australia. So based on barriers and facilitators. So we need to look at the barriers, what they really need. We can't do what we want. We need to ask you, what do you want from us? Then it has to fit into the theory or model. I'll talk later on, next lecture I'm talking a bit more about the theories and model. So some countries, they use different model, but our model is quite different because different people, different nations. So we need to look at especially cultural barriers. Those are the biggest issue for promoting physical activity, cultural barriers. So we need to address that. Then I'm going to talk models of health promotion. In this chapter I'm talking theories and models of physical activity and promotion. Then I'm going to talk COVID-19 and physical activity. This is the very interesting chapter. Whatever we did before COVID now completely changed the dimensions. Globally. So this is the only book who is talking about it after COVID. This book was published, not a single book came after COVID. This is the only one. So I'm talking what was happened during COVID and after COVID, especially physical activity and mental health. Huge problem for us. Then I'm talking in the previous chapter I told mental health, so especially depression. It's very important, but this one also depression and anxiety. So this is very important, the mental health and physical activity. Then I'm talking migrant health component and physical activity. Now that chapter I'm talking healthy migrant syndrome. When we migrate to people into the other country, they take good people, healthy people, right? They go with healthy people, they screen your health, then they allow you to migrate. Once you get migrated, after 5 years or 10 years, they become ill health compared to your siblings back in Sri Lanka. And it's a big problem. So we are going for the betterment, but at the end of the day, you'll be sick compared to your siblings. So I'm talking with the theory called healthy migrant syndrome. Then I'm talking exercise prescription. As Dr. Madapole said, that chapter is very important. Now, most books doesn't tell that. You read the book, what is next? They don't talk that. In that chapter I'm talking, especially dose response. What dose that you, it's vary from person to person, they're giving the dose, like medicine. So I'm talking basically how to calculate the dose. You can calculate your dose, right? How much you need it. And that I'm telling in there, especially in relation to strength, endurance, and flexibility. And that chapter I'm talking separately, each condition, maybe diabetes, what you need to do. When you have a cardiovascular problem, what type of exercise. you have to do. Each and every one, every exercise I am talking. Then I have given certain diagrams in the book, especially strength and flexibility, endurance. In this book, this flexibility and endurance, the flexibility and strength, resistance training exercise I am giving. So those exercises tell what muscle groups work and what is the health benefit of doing. Not a single book in the world that has given that detail. Precisely, readable way I have given. Right? When you do the exercise, you should know what I am doing, what is the benefit I am getting. Otherwise, you never motivate to do exercise. Then creating your own exercise prescription program. So these are the things that you get from my books. It's comprehensive evidence-based approach, action-oriented framework, then accessible to all audience. The accessible to all audience means that this for the doctors, nurses, people who work in this industry, and healthcare professionals, educators can use this book. Purely layman, the layman point of view I have written. Then all in one solution. As I mentioned, if you get the book, you will get everything. You don't need to read a number of books. And also, this is truly evidence-based book. You don't need to think about. If you are unhappy, you can go to the evidence, see the original sources. Now, the three-stage framework. Now, this three-stage framework meaning, so this book has abstract of this has been published by the International Society of Physical Activity. This is the supreme body we all represent. All the scientists and all the physical active persons has to get they are the members in this society. So they have accepted my book under three concepts: prevention, treatment, and management. So that has been accepted, and you can have a look. Now the Move to Heal gives build habits, not revolution, set micro goals, define social support. Those are the four components in the book. You need to build your habit. Exercise is a habit, like you are eating, right? Then the set micro goals. Do small micro, maybe 10 minutes of walking every day for three sets, rather than walking for an hour. Little by little you need to build. Track progress. Tracking progress means you need to see before and after. If you started 1 month before, your level of physical activity, which way that you develop, so that is very important. And also find social support. You can't do it on your own. You need to get someone to work with you. This is the take-home message. Movement is matters. Three-stage framework. Start small, stay consistent. This is the message. So you can get more details when you read the book. You can read the book and give some comments in the book. The reason I'm telling you to give your comments, then I can understand whether it's important or not, what to go next. This is my website. Now this book is available over 4,000 bookstores in globally, and especially Amazon, Barnes and Noble, any bookshops, Kindle, Kobe, and Apple Book and Ingram Spark. And also I want to tell you, inform you, I'm so pleased to tell, because being Sri Lankan, this book has been going to be published tomorrow in India. You know, the Norton Press, Norton Publishers, they said they're very keen to publish this book in India. I don't know, I'm talking with them to get a cheaper rate to Sri Lanka. I don't know how well, because let them publish first, then I will negotiate with them. Because they are very keen, and they nearly finished, will be from tomorrow night available in India. It's a big market. Now finally, I want to thank the people who helped me, Mr. Nalin De Silva, Cicero Silva, and Saman Samarakon, and Ravi, helping me to do this program in Sri Lanka. Otherwise, without them, I don't think I can do it, because I've been far away. they did it. I would like also to express my sincere thanks to media professionals and especially the MC, Nadun Dima, that came forward and did this voluntarily. And especially I need to thank you for Lakruan from Principal Health UK Company Sponsored Limited. And my special thank and appreciation to Dr. Lalit Ratnayaka. Without him, Asela Ratnayaka and Dulshika Ratnayaka. Without them, I don't think I can do this book launch here. When he heard that I'm finishing a book, he said, Jayanta, you must come and do it in Sri Lanka. You born in here. So therefore, I should give my thank you. In addition to that, finally, I would like to thank my heartfelt gratitude to my wife, Anoma, and my daughter Diniti, and my granddaughter Sienna, and my son-in-law Tivanka. Their tremendous support. Without them, I don't think I can do it. They were really stressed. I was very grumpy at the last stage of the book. It took 3.5 to 4 years to finish this book. I don't know how she tolerated me. I was very stressful. To be honest, after 2 years, I stopped this book, writing this book. I just couldn't cope the stress. Then one of my friends in the university, he said, he was asked me one day, I was in the university, Dr. J, did you finish this? I said, I stopped doing writing. He said, don't do that. No, this is a big accomplishment for your life. Go and think. Then I came home. Then I went to the bar at home. Then at night I had 2 shots of brandy. Then eventually ended up with 3. Then I was sitting and thinking, okay, we'll start. After 2 weeks, I start again. Finally finish. It was a hard journey, ever. You can write a book, but you need to have a story to tell people. So thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Dasnaika, and thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for your enthusiastic attention. It is my pleasure to now invite the chief guest, Deputy Minister of Health and Mass Media, Dr. Hansaka Wijayamuni, to speak a few words.
Distinguished guests, colleagues, and friends. It's a great pleasure to be here today at the launch of Move to Heal, a remarkable work of Dr. Jayanta Dasnaika, a Sri Lankan academic whose lifelong dedication to physical activity and chronic disease prevention continues to inspire both science and society. As a Deputy Minister of Health, I am acutely aware that we face an unprecedented challenges: non-communicable disease, heart disease, diabetes, cancer, strokes, and chronic respiratory illnesses now account for nearly 80% of all deaths in Sri Lanka. Around 1 in 5 adults lives with diabetes or pre-diabetes, and 1 in 4 has high blood pressure. These are not merely statistics. They represent families affected, communities burdened, and health system stretched to their limits. The good news is that much of this suffering is preventable. Scientific evidence from across the world and from Sri Lanka tell us that regular physical activity is one of the most powerful tools we have to prevent and manage chronic diseases. This is the essence of the global movement known as exercise is medicine. Exercise lower the blood pressure, improve the blood sugar control, strengthen the heart, boost the immunity, reduce anxiety and depression, and even delay cognitive declines. No single prescription, no pills can deliver such a broad spectrum of benefits. Yet, physical inactivity remains one of the leading risk factors for death worldwide and in Sri Lanka. In Sri Lanka, nearly 60% of adults do not achieve the recommended level of physical activity. This is why we must embed the exercise is medicine philosophy into every layer of our health system, from primary care clinics to hospitals, from medical curriculum to public health campaigns. We must train our doctors, nurses, and all allied health professionals to not only treat diseases but also prescribe movements, just as they would prescribe medications. Our vision must be to create a movement literature population where every citizen understands that exercise is not a luxury but a necessary. A daily dose of prescription, the daily dose of prevention, strength and well-being. We can integrate this through school health programs, workplaces, wellness initiatives, and community-based physical activity helps supported by both Ministry of Health and Ministry of Sports. Dr. Dasanayaka. Dr. Dasanayaka's move to heal provides a timely and practical roadmap for this transformation. It connects scientific evidence with real-world application and shows that promoting physical activity is not merely a health intervention. It is a national investment in productivity, longevity, and quality of life. As we celebrate this important milestone, I reframe my ministry's commitment to making physical activity a cornerstone of Sri Lanka's public health policy. Let us work together to build a healthier, more active nation, one where every citizen truly embraces the messages that exercise is medicine. And together we can all move to heal. Thanks.
Thank you, Minister. Now, without further ado, let's proceed to the unveiling of the book. May I please invite the chief guest, Dr. Arjuna Tilakaratne, and the author to step forward to the bookshelf for the unveiling and the presenting of the books. Minister, can we get you onto the bookshelf along with Dr. Arjuna and Dr. Dasanayaka, please? Ladies and gentlemen, can we have a loud round of applause as the unveiling happens? Dr. Dasanayaka will now present a first copy of the book to the chief guest, Deputy Minister of Health and Mass Media, Dr. Hansaka Vijayamuni. Now a copy will be presented to Dr. Arjuna Tilakaratne as well. Next copy will go to Dr. Upul Madahapula. We invite Professor Rohan Jayasekara on stage to collect a copy of the book as well, please. Dr. Asela Ratnayaka, may I please invite you on stage to collect your copy. May I please invite Dr. Lalit Vijayratna as well on stage. And finally, Mr. Sajid Jailal from the Institute of Sports Sciences to come and collect the copy for the library. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, Dr. Dasnaika. Ladies and gentlemen, the book is now available for purchase. Make sure you get your copy signed from Dr. Dasnaika as well. It will also be available at the Sarasavi bookshops. To wrap up the proceedings of the morning, may I please invite retired Group Captain Nalin De Silva to deliver the vote of thanks.
අයිබෝවන් ගරුතර මහා සංඝරත්නයේ අවසරයි මම විශේෂයෙන්ම ගරුතර මහා සංඝරත්නයට ස්තුතිවන්ත වෙනවා අපි පොඩි දෙයක් මෙතන මම හිතන්නේ අපේ ආචාර්යතුමාට පොඩි දෙයක් අමතක වුණා කියන්න මේ විකිනෙන හැම පොතකටම ගරුතර මහා සංඝරත්නයේ සංවිධානයක් තියෙනවා planet protectors කියලා. ඒක ඊටමත් භක්තියෙන් තිරසර භාවය sustainability environment sustainability එකට අදාළව කටයුතු කරන දැන් අවුරුදු ගාණක් තිස්සේ අපේ තිත්තගල්ලේ ආනන්දසිරි ස්වාමින් වහන්සේගේ ප්‍රධානත්වයෙන් තියෙන planet protectors ආයතනය පොරොන්දු වෙලා තිනවා ඩොක්ටර් දසනායකට මම හිතන්නේ මේක ලෝකේ කොහෙවත් නැහැ වෙලා මේ වගේ විශේෂයෙන් මේ වගේ පොතක් ඩොක්ටර් දසනායක වෙනුවෙන් මම එතුමාගේ අවුරුදු 40ක මිතුරෙක් හැටියටත් ඒකම planet protectors සංවිධානයට ඉතාමත් ළඟින් වැඩ කරන නිසා හැම විකිනෙන පොතකටම ඒම සංවිධානයේ විසින් ගහක් දුර්වලව ගනේ මේ මිහිතලයෙන් තුරන් වෙලා යන දුර්වලම ගනේ ගහක් ගසක් හැම පොතක් වෙනුවෙන්ම පැල කරන බව ඒ ගරුසර සංඝරත්නය පොරොන්දු වෙලා තිනවා ඒක මම හිතන්නේ කොහෙම වෙලාවකවත් වෙලා නැහැ අපි ඉතාමත් ගරු කරනවා ඒක මොකද විශේෂයෙන්ම මේ සංඝරත්න මේ ස්වාමින් වහන්සේලා මම කිය යුතුමයි ස්වාමින් වහන්සේලා මහාන වෙලා තියෙන හැම දෙනෙක්ම 25ක් ඉන්නවා මෙත් බෝසවන ගාල්ලේ ඒ ස්වාමින් වහන්සේලා මහාන වෙලා තියෙන්නේ මෙතන ඉන්නවා PhD තියෙන MBA තියෙන ඩිග්‍රී ඉන්න මේ ඉන්න ස්වාමින් වහන්සේලා දෙන්නම IT ස්පෙෂලිස්ට්ලා මහාන වෙලා තියෙන හැම දෙනෙක්ම ක්වොලිෆිකේෂන් අරගත්තට පස්සේ ජීවිතය අවබෝධ කරගෙන බැංකුවල ලොකු කම්පනීස් වල GM ලා චෙයාමන්ලා හිටපු ස්වාමින් වහන්සේලා මේ. ඉතින් අපි ගරු කර යුතුයි එතුමාලා ඒ සියලු දෙනාටම මේ කරමු සත්කාරයට මම නැවතත් කියනවා ඒක ක්ලවුඩ් බේස් එකකට යනවා හිටවන හැම ගහක්ම IT ස්පෙෂලිස්ට්ලා හින්දා ක්ලවුඩ් බේස් ඇප් එකකට යනවා ඉදිරි අනාගතයේදී අපි සියලු දෙනාටම බලා ගන්න පුළුවන් ඒ ඇප් එකෙන් ගහට මොකද්ද වෙලා තියෙන ප්‍රතිඵලය ගහේ ප්‍රෝග්‍රස් එක ඒ සියලු පැල කරපු තැන ජියෝ ටැග් කරනවා හැම එකක්ම අපිට බලා ගන්න පුළුවන් මම හිතන්නේ මේ අචීව්මන්ට් එක ගරු අපේ ඩොක්ටර් ජයන්ත දසනායකට දෙන ලොකු උපහාරයක් සර් ඔබතුමා අපි සියලු දෙනාම වෙනුවෙන් මේ කරපු සත්කාරයට coming down to the main task as we draw the curtains of this today's wonderful event sir honorable deputy minister sir all the other professors who are present here distinguished guests my colleagues friends when I spoke with Dr. Jasanayak about a month ago, when he was planning this whole thing, he gave me a call and said, Nalin, you have to do the vote of thanks. Then I asked him, why me? No, you are the best person. You are not getting caught to any of these things. No risk factors, no non-communicable diseases, no nothing. You are 71 years old, no sugar, no cholesterol, no central obesity, everything he said. And you are the best person to do the vote of thanks. Because it's the ලොකු මේ ආදර්ශයක් ඒක. ඉතින් මම අද මෙතන ඉඳගෙන ලස්සනට vote of thanks දෙනවා. ඊටමත් ගරුත්වයෙන් මේ සීලු දෙනාම ප්‍රොෆෙසර්ස්ලා අද අහගෙන හිටියා. මේ සර් කරන ඊටමත් ගරුත්වයෙන් කරපු ස්පීච් එක, ලෙක්චර් එක අපේ විශේෂයෙන්ම ડોક્ટર රත්නායක අපිට දීපු ඒ සත්කාරයට මෙතුමා ඉන්නවා, මැඩමුත් ඉන්නවා. ඒකම අතන ඉන්නවා අපේ මුදිතා මැඩම් මේ ඔය ප්ලැනට් ප්‍රොටෙක්ටර්ස් ළඟ එතුමාගේ හස්බන්ඩ් එක එකතු වෙලා කරන සත්කාරය හැම දෙනාම අපි එකතු වෙලා මේකදී අපි වටහාගත යුතුයි අවුරුදු 3000කටත් ඉස්සෙල්ලා ඉඳලානේ අපේ මේ ශිල්ප ශාස්ත්‍ර කියන concept එක ආවේ. මෙතන සර් කීප දෙනෙක්ම සඳහන් කරුවා අවුරුදු 2000කට 3000කට ඉස්සෙල්ලා අපි කරපු එක. ශිල්ප ශාස්ත්‍රත් ආවේ ඇත්තටම අපේ physical activity වලට සම්බන්ධ වෙලා. We must not, the message that move to heal is giving at what? Move. සංචලන. මේක depth එකට ගිහිල්ලා හිතුවොත් ඇත්තටම move සංචලන. Then the mindfulness. මෙතුමා කතා කරනවා mindfulness කියන්නේ පොතේ. Mr. විරුසූරිය පොත කියෝල ඉවර වෙලා යම් කිසි පොඩි සිනොස් එකක් දුන්නා. ඔබතුමාත් ඒක පිළිගන්නවා ඇති mindfulness ගැන කතා කරනවා then compassion ගැන කතා කරනවා. එතුමා අපේ සංඝරත්නය ගැන මෙල්බර්න් වල වාසය කරන සංඝරත්නය ගැනත් කිව්වා. ඉතින් අපි මොනවාද අන්තිමට ඉවර වෙන්නේ මෙතනින්? සන්තුට්ටි පරමං ධනං. ආරෝග්‍ය පරමාලාභයකින් ඇවිල්ලා මෙතුමා සන්තුට්ටි පරමං ධනං එකකින් ඉවර කරනවා. This is a great achievement, sir. And however much we thank you, I think there is no end to it. This lady who is sitting here, Anoma Dasanayaka madam, every time that I contact Dr. Dasanayaka in Melbourne, I can hear in the rear. Now, one of the professors who are here at the speech, he said, 3 years. 3 years, make a plan, 3 years, name 8 years ඉඳලා මේ අනෝම රත්නායක මැඩම්ගේ මේ සම්බන්ධතාවය තියෙනවා මෙතන මේ පොතට. So the 50% of the credit should go to you, ma'am. Not Dasanayaka. He is very conveniently taking the 100% of this. Never, I am telling you. Give a big hand, Dr. Alikazuri. So, my primary duties. Honorable Sir, thank you very much for gracing this occasion. It's an honor. You being the Deputy Minister of Mass Media also, I hope by tomorrow this will go all over the world so that he won't be able to, because there are two things. By printing these books, we are offsetting the carbon footprint of this book. So don't worry, Honorable Sir. We will keep on planting trees on behalf of this book. You can proudly mention this to anybody. This is not a burden on the earth. Mihitalයට මේක බරක් නෙවෙයි. මේ පොත. Then Honorable Arjun Tilakaratna sir, Deputy Health Services, the Director Teaching Hospital in Peradeniya. Then the Professor Rohan Jayasekara, the Professor of Anatomy, the former Dean of Faculty of Medicine. Thank you, sir, for gracing this occasion. Then Dr. Upul Mahadapola, the President of Sports Medicine Association. Thank you very much. Then, please, now, I'm sorry, I have to read these names and finish it off as quickly as possible because I know it's now you all have so many other commitments to go. Then, Mr. Priyantha Ekanayaka, my good friend, the chairman of the National Sports Council, we played together for national, and so this book will be a very valuable one in time to come for us. Yeah, though I know he's also in the same category, no risk factors on him as well. That one of the things to enlighten this, y'all. Don't take this as a boasting. We are not boasting. Why he selected me, Professor Doctor Jayanta Dasanayake. No beer, no wine, no arak, no whiskey, no smoking. I don't know even the taste of any of those. This is the secret behind all those. Bayanatu කියන්නේ මේක හැමෝටම අපි ආදර්ශයක් මේ මුළු ලෝකෙට මේ යනවා live streaming යනවා. මේ vote of thanks එක නිකන් ඇවිල්ලා නම් පේලියක් කිව්වට ඇති වැඩක් නැහැ මට ඒක හොඳට දන්නවා. අපි මම අවුරුදු 32 ගුවන් හමුදා ජ්‍යෙෂ්ඨ නිලධාරියෙක්. යුද්ධෙත් එක්ක මේ ඔක්කොම කරනකොට රග අවුරුදු 65ක් 71යි වයස. මේ හිතගෙන මෙහෙම අපි කතා කරන කිසිම ලෙඩක් නැහැ. move to health එකෙන්ම දෙන්නේ අපි. Then Sajit Jayalal sir, ඔබතුමා ගරුත්වයෙන් අපි කුඩා කාලේ ඉඳලම අපි young කාලේ ඉඳලම මෙතුමා ආශ්‍රය කරනවා. Then the convener, our good friend, sir, thank you very, very much for all the support given. From the inception, you have been dealing with, of course, I was the link between you on behalf of Dr. Nash, so I know the agony that you went through. So thank you very much. Ma'am, thank you very much for giving him time to deal with this matter. Thank you very, very much. Then, Mr. Salia Veerasurya, yes sir, thank you very much again. Then the secretary and the members of the Sri Lanka Sports Medicine Association. Then all the coaches, the sports coaches and the athletes who are present here. Then the president and the members of the Old Boys Association of St. Sylvester's. Of course, my Sylvester's මට මතක් වෙන්නේ මම ඉසිපතන කැප්ටන් කරලා ගහනකොට 1973 අපි Sylvester's ලට 70 ගානක් කොහෙද සෙල්ලම් කරුවා. එදාට තමයි ඒකෙන් තමයි මට මං ඉසිපතනිය. එතනදි තමයි මට මතක් වෙන්නේ Sylvester's කට්ටිය. ක්‍රිකට් මැච් එකකට ටිකක් සමාන වෙන්න ගියා. ඒක. ඔය වැඩි කියනකොට මේ ප්‍රියන්ත ඒක නෑ වැඩි ඕවා කැමති නෑ මොකද එතුමා සෙන් ඇන්තනිස් නේ ඉතින් ඒකත් සෙන් ඇන්තනිස්ලත් ඒ ළඟින්ම තමයි අපි ගහන්නේ. එතකොට then sir of course the relatives of Dr. Jayanta Dasanayake, I'm sorry by person, I don't know any of them. Thank you very much, all of you, the relatives of Dr. Jayanta. It's a great opportunity. I mean, we should be very proud of Dr. Jayanta for producing this book. Then, principal, healthcare, the sponsors, of course, they don't want to mention their name, but they are the main sponsors behind all these things. Lahiru, Mr. Lahiru, then Darshana, the Lakruan, and Mr. Lakruan, and all their team who are present here for the last 3-4 days. They were with us arranging this whole thing for the grand show. Then staff of Honorable Lakshman Kadiragama Institute, they are in the rear doing a lot of work. Thank you, sir. Thank you for your staff as well, madam. Then Nadun Dima, where is Nadun Dima? Thank you, ma'am, for all the compare work that you have been doing. Fantastic, and you came last evening also. Thank you very much. Fantastic job that you did. As I said, Another round of applause for our Madam Anuma Dasanayaka for going through this agony as we all do. So thank you very, very much, all of you, for being here to grace this occasion. Really appreciate. Thank you. I went through some humor, but it's a fact. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you once again, distinguished guests, speakers, and attendees for being a wonderful audience and being here to share this moment of inspiration and connection. My name is Nadundima. Have a fantastic afternoon, and please enjoy the refreshments. Just a small reminder, there will be a lecture held by Dr. Dasanayaka after the refreshments. Ladies and gentlemen, can we please get you back to your seats? The lecture is about to begin. Welcome again, ladies and gentlemen. We are proceeding on to the second half of the events for the day. I will now invite Dr. Jayant Dasanayaka to come on stage and present his lecture for health coaching. Can you please have a round of applause?
Yeah, so welcome for the second part of the presentation. As I mentioned in my previous book launch, the second part I'm going to talk health coaching and empowering behavioral change through movements. This is a new concept in the world and which we don't use in this part of the world, right? And the reason why I have chosen this topic, Dr. Asela contacted me. He said, Jayanta, can you deliver something new? Then I was thinking, what is the best to talk? Because the current audience is here. There are some sports administrators, coaches, and health professionals. I thought we'll try and talk something like this. What do you mean by health coaching? This is the latest approach. Now I need to talk evolution of health coaching from health education. In order to prevention of diseases, not only non-communicable disease, even the communicable disease, we use health education pathway, right? That was like 20th century, like many years ago. We used this health education because this is nothing new, health education. When we went to schools, we learned the basic hygiene. That's health education, right? After moving to the last 30, 40 years, so we came to the era with chronic disease phase. Then after 86, in the WHO Ottawa Charter, they have promoted health promotion. The health promotion address environmental variables, right? Environment, culture variables, and economic variables. So that they thought this is not a purely chronic disease, a health issue. It comes as either environmental issue, it could be a social issue, or it could be a poverty. So therefore, that didn't work. Then we moved 10 years ago. We moved to health literacy, as I mentioned in my book, health literacy. The reason is that we realized without health literacy, we can't promote this campaign, chronic disease prevention campaign. So then we thought, okay, we'll improve health literacy. When I was in Canada, I was the deputy director of the Center for Chronic Disease Prevention and Migrant Ethnicity and Health. Then there are in all my projects, I have conducted for 2 years, 5 projects to promote health literacy. Then I realized majority of people purely not quantitative, those are qualitative studies. Then people are saying we don't know about physical activity, we don't know about our own health, we don't know about our holistic health. So therefore I thought this is not going to work. Then I came back to Australia, then I was teaching in my students in my master's program and the bachelor's program about the health literacy unit. Then after that worked like last 3 years we realized health literacy also we need to combine with something else, like as I mentioned in my presentation, physical activity, active literacy. Then once we do that, then we develop another teaching module called health coaching. So then, which I gathered from that was conducted in USA and Canada. Then that program works very well. So that is health coaching was beginning. The health coaching is like basically we are talking with the sport coaching principles. You know, like being a coach, I'm a coach. They all are coaches. We use coaching principle to prevention and management of chronic disease. And this lecture I'm going to talk about 40 minutes. But some areas are very theoretical. Don't worry about the theory part, but try to understand, not to learn, try to understand the concept. This is what I want to know. But later on, when I come to Sri Lanka next time, I'll conduct a good course to teach them. And the other reason we are using these methods, nowadays we are having huge shortage of healthcare professionals in terms of chronic disease. Probably you have seen in my slides the way that chronic diseases are increasing, rapid increasing. As I mentioned, nearly 80%, 90% people will die due to chronic disease. Not a single government can't answer this problem. I don't think Sri Lanka or India or anywhere can't answer this problem unless improve health literacy and improve the manpower or people to work on the field. So when that is why we use the health coaching. So then I'm in this presentation, I'm talking about the introduction. Just have a look. Those are the components I'm talking. Now, if you are a health professional, if you are a doctor, if you are a nurse, this aspect you need to think about. This is what you are going to grab from the lecture. If you are a coach, this is for the health professional, like a doctor or a nurse or whoever. Then, if you are a sports coach, this is what you are going to learn from next 40 minutes. Need to have a look, really good understanding, otherwise you get completely lost what I am talking. And the doctors have to put that hat, the coaches have to put this hat and the whistle, right? It's a coaching. Now, what is health, sports coaching does? Now, sports coaches, I'll give a few minutes to get an understanding the concept. I don't want to rush. Now, sports coaches, we don't go and run. And when we coach, we don't go and play. Coaches are behind the bench. Now, they don't allow to sit on the bench. We have to go to the pavilion and for the coach's room. Right? They are watching. Right? They are not allowed to sit on the bench now. No more. And we are on the bench. We are trained them to do what we want according to the perspective of the athlete or a team. That is what sports coach does. This is the principle we are going to impart with health coaching. This is what sports coach does, guiding and motivation athlete. It's very important, guiding, motivation and goal setting. You guide and you motivate the athlete and set the realistic goals and achievable goals. And also we teach for the sports team, skills we teach, then we teach tactics, then we teach techniques. And also, not only that, we give them a feedback. You know, being a coach, that's a responsibility. They come and train with us, either video feedback or verbal feedback. Got it? Clear? Yes, we give them a feedback. and build confidence. This is the important thing in building confidence. When they come to us, we need to build the confidence. Otherwise, they don't perform in the grounds, right? These confidence building exercises are there in the sports. Otherwise, they can't give 100% performance. So we have different techniques in sports, confidence building exercise. Even the forces, look, even the forces, that's what we do, confidence building in the special forces, right? Even first SCF. Then we create a plan, like periodization plan, maybe week plan or to a microcycle or mesocycle, we create a plan. So that is our job. The health coach does the same thing, but they don't develop their sporting ability. We coach them to build their life, healthy life. And they give knowledge, motivation, and accountability. More knowledge is we give them a knowledge to change their behavior. Then we motivate them to change the behavior. Later on, I'll explain one by one. Then accountability. Like sports coach, you are accountable, right? You just can't say that I do this. You can't wash your hand. You have to take the own responsibility. Accountability is very important, right? Not just taking money, you will be responsible their life, right? That is called accountability. This is the definition of health coach. Health coach work on the evidence-based approach and person-centered. Like we work around the patient, not the patient. We don't tell the patient, around the client. Right? We work what client needed, not we needed. You need to talk to them and get them into the coaching. Then evidence-based practices, you need to follow behavioral epidemiology principles and the evidence, social psychology and health promotion. All those three subjects in the health coaching base. Like we learn, like when we coach, training theory is there, then methods are there, like sports coaching. So then these are three subjects we are imparting: behavioral epidemiology, social science, social psychology and health promotion. Ruin.
In this video, I'm going to talk about the field of health and wellness coaching, what it's all about, and what it means to become a coach and work with people in this way. Now, if you're new to me, I'm Kim Foster.
So this is one of the best coaches in the world. She runs a number of programs in USA, and always we show in our units when we teach our university this one, right? Look at her and see her view.
Park Avenue, long-lasting fragrance, unshakable confidence.
In this video, I'm going to talk about the field of health and wellness coaching, what it's all about, and what it means to become a coach and work with people in this way. Now, if you're new to me, I'm Kim Foster. I'm an MD turned wellness coach, a business mentor to my fellow health and wellness coaches, and also the founder of the Wellness Coach Academy, an online training school for coaches. Now, I work with a lot of new and aspiring coaches, and at the very beginning of this journey, there's often a lot of confusion. What exactly does a health coach do? What does it mean to call yourself a health or wellness coach? And I remember when I first began pivoting from conventional medicine to health coaching, I was confused too. I had a vague idea of what a health coach might do, but I was a little fuzzy on the details. So that's what I want to do today, to clear up those fuzzy details so that you can actually have a really good picture of what it means to be a health and wellness coach, so that you can decide for yourself if this is the right career path for you. Now, before we get into things, I just want to mention that if you are interested in pursuing a career as a health or wellness coach, but you've got a lot of questions about whether it's right for you and what the pathway is, I've put together a wellness coaching career guide to help you. It's a free download, and to get a copy, just click the link in the description box below. But I also want to offer a bit of clarity about terminology before we go any further. I use the terms health coach and wellness coach more or less interchangeably, but I have to say that I do prefer the term wellness coach. To me, it feels a bit more holistic and focuses on more than just simply nutrition, and it's why I called my training school the Wellness Coach Academy. But many of my students prefer the term health coach, and that is completely fine. And so, like I say, I do use the terms interchangeably. So, that said, what is a health coach? Well, a health or wellness coach is a relatively new kind of health professional. A health coach works closely with their clients to support them to achieve their health goals. And that's whether those goals are to lose weight or manage stress or maybe tame a digestive issue or really any other client-directed health goal. Generally speaking, a health and wellness coach takes a holistic approach to her clients. She mentors, inspires, supports, and connects with her clients on multiple levels. And she collaborates with them to set goals. And then she coaches them through the barriers and the habit and the mindset issues that prevent significant lifestyle change. So, why do we need health coaches? Well, it's no secret that chronic illnesses are a modern epidemic. Diabetes, heart disease, obesity, autoimmune disease, cancer, anxiety, arthritis, the list goes on. And it's also no secret that many conditions are preventable through lifestyle. But the problem is the healthcare system is not designed to guide and support people through the complex process of changing their lifestyle. I know this, of course, because I functioned in that world as a family doctor for many, many years. And I knew that there was a limit to what I could do to help people in their day-to-day lives. Just like all physicians, I did not have the time or the resources to help my patients build healthy habits and change their lifestyles day in, day out. I could tell people what to do, but actually doing it, that was up to them. And to be honest, that's the hard part. The truth is there is an enormous gap for most people between knowing what they need to do and actually doing it and making the necessary changes. And that's exactly where a health or wellness coach comes in with their unique skill set to help people to overcome their barriers and achieve their goals, and also to look at their health in a holistic way, really consider all the areas of their life and address a variety of factors and really help them to create lasting lifestyle change. Up until health and wellness coaches came along, nobody else on the healthcare team was able to truly fulfill this role for people. So that's what a health coach does and why we need them so desperately. But what would it mean for you if you were to pursue this career path? What would your days look like? What sort of work would you actually be doing? Well, the good news is that there isn't just one cookie cutter way. In fact, that's one of the beautiful things about pursuing a career as a coach, because you can truly make it your own. Some of the graduates of my program work with clients one-on-one, coaching them privately on their health goals and meeting them once a week, for example, on Zoom, which of course means that they are able to work with clients from all over the world. Other graduates build practices that focus on group coaching programs where you're working with a small number of people in maybe like an intimate way, but with the additional benefit of the community, the supportive element of a group. And then still other graduates build businesses that include self-study courses and other passive digital products and programs and membership clubs. And some people then run workshops and retreats either as a supplementary stream of income or as the core foundation of their business. Honestly, the sky is the limit, and there are so many ways that this career can be customized and tailored to suit your preferences, your desires, and your income goals. It's a beautiful thing to be able to do what you love and get paid well for it, and to know that you are making a meaningful impact in the world, helping people to live healthier and happier lives. Now, if you're interested in exploring the possibilities, I would love for you to download my free wellness coaching career guide and see what this path might hold for you. As I say, you can grab it by following the link in the description box below. Okay, that brings us to the end of this video, and I hope that this has given you a clearer sense of what a health or wellness coach is and what it means to become a coach. I would love to hear from you. What questions do you still have about this career? Which pieces are still confusing? Let me know your thoughts and your questions below in the comments, and let's have a conversation. If you liked this video, be sure to hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss it when I upload new videos. Take care, and I will talk to you again soon.
Now, there are a lot of medical physicians now they are taking courses to be a health coach in Australia, because there are especially people, the doctors who are working with non-communicable diseases. Even my course, I got in my master's program, I got several doctors from Sri Lanka, even from various parts of the world. That's a very demanding job, because this is the only way that we can tackle this chronic disease prevention. Now, the key features of health coaching: the collaboration, goal-oriented, behavioral change, personalized support, and empower. Collaboration in the sense person-centered. As I mentioned earlier, person-centered meaning is, as I mentioned, we work around the client. Unlike athletic coaching, like sports coaching, we want to ask him, what do you want to do? What is your barriers to participate in physical activity or exercise? You need to work with him. You don't direct him, because as I mentioned in health literacy, empower him. You are trying to empower. Unlike coaching, we direct him to go and do this, go and do this. We are trying to empower, right? Then goal-oriented. Every time when you coach with the client, try to develop a small goal even. Try to reduce at least, if you can reduce 500 grams a week from the body weight, he will come to you. This has to be goal-oriented, especially weight management, stress reduction, improve fitness, and chronic disease. But you need to talk to him. How do you feel yesterday? Or how did you feel yesterday's program? What do you feel? Do you have any difference between last week and this week? But a good example, I'm working as a sports coach, health coach. Recently, there's a client came to me. He was having enormous amount of pressure, stress, and he contacted me through another doctor. Then I have taken him. He's one of the top IT consultant. He's a Sri Lankan, right? He's the CEO of that company here, but he's based in Australia. But he take a lot of kids from here to work, and his headquarters in USA. They work in different hours, like. They work in different hours, and they don't sleep at night, right? Because we have to work according to their hours. Then he said he can't cope the job. I said, come to me. Then person said, I asked, so what do you want to do? So he quietly talked to me. I had a lengthy meeting. Then finally I found what he wanted to do. Then I'll explain that to the client. Then the behavioral change. The behavioral change is like, behavioral risk factors are there. Physical activity, diet, stress, and anxiety, and those factors we control. And personal support, we support them individually, not holistic, like one fit-all approach. We need to, each client has a different needs. Then empower. You're trying to empower them, right? They need to change. That is their own health, not our health. Remember, that is very, very important. You got to tell him, this is your problem, not my problem. When someone is coming with a body weight, initially you have to tell your body weight, the way you need to reduce, I will tell you. If you don't do it, unnecessarily you are paying money, right? Now, when you start health coaching programs, you need to identify their barriers. Like, barriers are the important. What sort of problems to getting engaged? What sort of problems you are having to change your behavior? Without that, we can't do it? And identify the barriers, then find the solutions. So then find the solution, and especially, as I mentioned, you are working on the nutrition, exercise, stress management, and health habits. So now, I mentioned that accountability and responsibility of the coach. So you need to build the goals, and for them to their diet and the lifestyle change. Especially we support them changing the diabetes, heart disease, and obesity. Now, health coaches and physicians, they work in primary care setting, right? And also they work with the corporate wellness program. Corporate wellness program is big companies. You work with the big companies. They hire you to change their behavior. It's a huge problem. It's a stress in Australia, all over, right? Then they hire you. They pay a good salaries, huge amount of money, right? It's a corporate setting, like companies. They pay you, so you can work as a corporate setting and primary care setting. Later on, I'll tell primary care setting how you work. Then the corporate program. And the clinical setting. So after clinical setting, so mainly doctors, they give a referral to you. So they give a patient to referral, they come to you, then you do the coaching program. There's a very tricky area, but I'll tell you how to do that, because liability. If they have any complicated chronic disease problem, don't work without a referral from a GP, right? You are not supposed to diagnose, being a coach, right? The diagnose part is done by the physician. If you are a physician, he can use both. He can diagnose, he can work as a coach. It's very popular. These are the examples, just have a look. These are some examples. Role of coaching in chronic disease management. It's a huge area, never end, the way the chronic diseases are rising. No. I'm going to explain. Later on, I will explain how to become a health coach, right? You don't have to be a doctor. Doctors can work as a health coach, but they have to follow certain modules. I'll tell you. Right? Shall I move? Now, look at this is the difference between health coaching, medical professionals, and personal trainers. You got to define the territories. This is the difference between health coaching, medical care, and personal trainer. You take a picture. If you want, take a picture. That's a very good slide. The coach does behavioral change and lifestyle habits. The doctor diagnoses treatment and disease management. Then the physical fitness and exercise with personal trainer. Right? He doesn't do health coaching, fitness trainer. These are the key differences. The summary of the slide is this. You got the idea? He bridged the gap that the physicians give a prescription, then the health coach is working in between. Someone is there to implement the program. That's what health coaching does. So these are the core principles of behavioral change: motivational interweaving theory, right? And goal setting and self-monitoring. And we do the holistic focus. Holistic focus is we don't just look at in one aspect. We look at all the aspects of the client, especially physical, mental, and social well-being. This is very important. When they come, when you ask them with the barriers, they come with all the issues. Got to remember that's very important to identify the problem very clearly. Right? They are coming with the physical problem. They are coming with the mental issues. They are coming with the social well-being, social problems. That you need to. So therefore, we need to tackle all the holistic way. Then the collaboration, coach-client relationship, like athlete and coach. That we have being a coach. Similarly, we have to have a health coaching good relationship, and they should trust you. You are the person who can change my behavior, not taking money. You are accountable. So therefore, you need to believe, special client has to believe the way you approach. This is motivational interviewing theory. Just read. Now, when you apply this theory, we ask their own motivation to change. Like, people have their own motivation. Nalin must be knowing the motivation. He's expert on motivation in this country. And some people, they come with the motivation. Some people, the motive is to reduce their central obesity. Right? They want to put down the central obesity. That's the motivation. I mean, that's a common thing, no? So either he want to lose the weight, but they don't have good understanding of blood pressure or any other clinical ailments. But mainly coming with those factors. And client-centered communication is you need to help and resolve the problems. They are coming with the problems. Problem is barriers. Then you need to try to understand the problem and resolve the problem. And intrinsic motivation meaning is not extrinsic. Intrinsic motivation is in a desire to change. He should think that I want to change. Even my current client, he was working with me 3 weeks. Thereafter, he said, Dr. J, I can do it by myself. He was so confident. But I was going with him for the gym at the time I told him to come while I am at the gym. When I go for my workout, I think Sali has called me, Asil also called me several times. I said, I'm in the gym. So I was working with the guy. And I'm also doing partly. So then he comes with me. Then I show him how to do it. Right? I don't tell him. So the basic things. Thereafter, he was very confident. I ask every day. Then normally what I do is when I coach, I text them in the morning. Then again I text him in the afternoon. Then he get committed, he get obligation to see me that you have to develop. Then he built his intrinsic motivation. He said he had a shoulder pain, right? He was actually diabetic, like he's a young guy. You don't believe, he's an expert. So then he went to a doctor. He said that he has gone down, HbA1c is gone down. So he was so happy. Then he got the intrinsic motivation. Thereafter, he said, no, you don't need to come. I will do it by myself. I'll go in the morning, then I'll do my workout. So once a week, he's coming to see me. So that is intrinsic. He knew that is going to work. That's the type of motivation you need to give. Talk to Nalin. Nalin is the best person to motivate. Right? Then the ask, listen, reflect model. This is the model in my theory and the model. Ask. It's better to read. Then I will explain. Yes, you ask the problem, right? You need to show that you are genuinely interested. That's how I work. I'm genuinely interested to work with a client. So then you need to show that I'm interested more than how I did it. I text them with all my busy schedule. I normally text them, not because of money, to be honest. So I text them in the morning and the afternoon. So he said, okay, I'll be coming this time, right? Then listen. Listening is very important skill to develop being a coach. You need to listen their problem, unlike coaching, sports coaching. So we dictate them. We tell them to do it. But here you can't tell. You need to, they're adults. They're age over 30, 40, 50 sometimes, right? You need to listen carefully and ask the empathy, right? Listen and ask and say, centered, like person-centered. And you need to show the genuine interest. Reflect and summarize. Okay, you need to summarize. Okay, you talk to me, then we discuss with you. We need to have sufficient time to, like early stage. Then you need to summarize. If possible, take the notes. But you can't record. Right? They are personal, we have some issues, liability issues, and privacy issues. But we are not allowed to do that in Australia, but we can do it here. So then you need to summarize, and this is what you said. It's a mirror in, show them, right? This is what you said, this is correct? Yes, okay. Couple of times ask, don't work, right? Yes, when they're happy, then you start working. Talking is very important in this coaching, early stage. Now, when you interview in this theory, open-ended question. In the research methods, we have two types of research. One is quantitative methods, the other one is qualitative method. Right? Qualitative methods is the best way to approach. Like you talk, and you need to structure the interview. And open-ended. There are two types of questions. One is closed-ended, the other one is open-ended. Like open-ended in the sense, you need to probe. If he talks something, you need to probe and get what he wants. You have a very good skills to probing. So then, not closed-ended question, open-ended question, ask the question. So these are some sort of question you can start with. So early on I explained, but again. Now, we knew the lifestyle diseases not coming with the luck. It's because of your behavior. And the coach, what coach does is, he bridges the gap between physician and the client. He is the middleman. He helps him to reduce the diseases. This is the part 2. How a health coach works. He does motivational interviewing, and he does behavioral psychology principles and exercise science to guide clients towards sustainable change. So then you need to have a combination of this type of knowledge, behavioral change, behavioral psychology, exercise science, and this only for physical activity, right? Then you need to know the barriers and facilitators to require to change the behavior. Now, the behavioral science, these are the behavioral science principles and theories and models. There are a number of models. I thought this audience is the best. These are the models I should be talking. Socio-ecological model. Then the stages of change is called trans-theoretical model, the health belief model, self-determinant theory, habit formation model, protective motivation theory. So, those are the models normally we use. The way you are going to use the model is very, very clearly explained in the book, right? You don't need to worry about it, just listen to the word. That's all you need to do, right? You have very clearly explained these models. And when you talk with the clients, you ask in the barriers. The barriers belongs to one of the models. It should be socio-ecological model or social cognitive theory or trans-theoretical model, or health belief model, or self-determinant theory, or have habit formation. Habit, you want to make it as a habit, right? Exercise is or whatever habit. So you wake up in the morning, we put your shoes, then you put your shorts, then you go to, like us. So we have a time, habit, like habit in the sense, normally I come to home 6 o'clock, immediately I go to the gym, 6 is 7, so that's my workout time, right? That's a habit of I'm doing. Wherever I go, I do that. Even here, I did this. That's called habit formation theory. Then this is socio-ecological model. This is universally accepted. Even we are doing the same. We follow the same principle. This model, we acknowledge, this has come from the public health, education, and social psychology field. The combination, integrate all these disciplines together. Then they accept physical environment. So in order to change, there are physical environment needed for people to change the behavior. Right? Later on I'll explain. Then interpersonal variables, like interpersonal in the sense, like the personally or with the family. So like individually there are problems. Then cultural factors, as I mentioned earlier, biggest problem in this part of the world, cultural factors. You can't get people to do physical activity or so many behavioral change. Culture doesn't allow. So people say, how can you go out and walk? Especially females. The biggest problem. They think I'm shy to go and do. Some clients come in, no, I can't do, especially cultural background. Then so that is how individual and cultural factors we use. This is one of the studies I have conducted in Australia with Sri Lankan community. These are individual, this is the model, individual knowledge, interpersonal variables. These are the variables in each sector. Individual knowledge, individually the knowledge. The people should have knowledge to activate. Then the attitude. Then interpersonal, families and friends and social network. Community relationship, organization, just read it. Now, when you identify barriers, you can identify the actual, whether it is belong to individual barrier or interpersonal or organizational or public policy. We can tell people to be active. If the public policy doesn't allow to active them, how can they do? If there's no walking path, if there's no freely available gyms, if there are no safety places to exercise for females, they don't get activated. Physical activity, right? Or exercise. Therefore, we need to use this model. This is a good model to use. It's very clearly I have explained in my book. These are some studies I have conducted in Australia with the Sri Lankan community. The cross is a barrier, tick is a facilitator. Say, for example, individual barrier. The people with having a cardiovascular disease, I did this model and I have interviewed. They said can't afford. A lot of people, they can't afford the exercise facilities in Australia. Then family is a priority. When they migrated, their priority is family. Therefore, they don't spend any time for physical activity or exercise. The money is spending for family, for their kids. Then knowledge of physical activity and cardiovascular disease, like a link between cardiovascular disease and exercise, they don't have any knowledge. So therefore, we need to increase their health literacy knowledge. So likewise, when you do the barriers, then you can identify which strata is going to belong to. This is one of the models, stages of change, stages of behavior change. It's called trans-theoretical framework. In the early stage, when you come to a client, the pre-contemplation stage in this is they are unaware about the problem. They don't have any understand the problem with their own health, right? Then we are going to move contemplative stages. Then they identify the problem, then desire to change. The desire you need to identify, yes, they knew the problem, then you change the desire. Preparation is, they are getting ready to exercise, then you need to say where to go and what type of instrument you need to use. Then action, so this level, so they are doing the action, then maintenance stage. Now the problem is this, you do all the aspects. Maintenance stage and relapse, if you can't produce the result with them, they stop. If you come to see you and to reduce weight, if you can't produce you can't lose their weight, they give up. Oh, I don't want to do this, this is not going to work for me. So before that, you need to identify these areas very clearly and answer. These are the efforts you pre-contemplation stage. Educate about the risk factors. Just have a look. Stage by stage, you need to educate them. Identify barriers. The preparation stage is very important. Develop realistic goals. Those are whatever the theory we says, when you go to practical setting, it's going to be a problem. So people, they come with, they want to do a quick change. You can't do it quick change. The body weight increases over 10 years. And you need to teach them, you can't do it overnight. You need to take us one step at a time, right? If they are going to rush, they start getting number of injuries, especially plantar fasciitis, when they walk, or shin split. Then they stop, or knee pain, or back pain. Then they give up. Therefore, being a health coach should have a better understanding those health injury, sports injury aspects. Then you need to provide positive feedback. Even they did a small achievement, right? Oh, well done, you achieved this. You need to give very good accomplishment. Accept their achievement. Then they will see, you have achieved, then they come back to you. And the encouragement is very important, like giving a call or maybe text messages, that's very important. This is the SMART goal template. You all know the SMART goals. Specific, measurable, achievable, and relevant and time bound. So these are the examples that you can use in terms of physical activity. More. Now, when you do the interviewing, you need to clarify very clearly goals. You know, as I mentioned earlier, you need to clarify their goals clearly, develop action plan. You need to show them that this is where we are going to do. We are going to work for 12 weeks. This is what we are going to learn from working with the 12 weeks. This is what we are going to achieve. Then try to develop smaller achievable goals. And this is simply like a project management. Like a, what do you call, we do like sports, periodization, similar to periodization and planning. And also we need to increase the self-efficacy. Self-efficacy in the sense confidence, like they need to have confidence to do that task. So confidence comes with the previous experience. This is one of the problems in this part of the world, promoting physical activity. They have never done any sports in the back, or they haven't done any exercises. A lot of people in Sri Lankan people, they come to me, they said, I have never done the sports, therefore I'm scared to do this. Therefore you need to show, at least you need to show, this is how you need to do it. And build the confidence. Once they learn to build the confidence, they will do it. Otherwise they don't do it. Especially the culture setting. Then the habit formation science. And you need to teach them the way the dopamine released from the brain. That is how the sustainable change, like dopamine theory. I don't have time to talk on that. Dopamine theory, I think I have spoken in, I've written in that mental health part in the book. And safety and progression. Safety is number one. Be very careful dealing with, especially the older generation with chronic disease. They are come with various, some people, they come with the food problem, with the diabetes, right? You need to very clearly check those problems. And safety is very important. Even I'm an expert on that area. I lost my finger. I lost my finger like 2 years ago. I went to the gym. I was sitting on the lat pull down. Then I have adjusted the seat. Then once I put the finger, then I was sitting. Then the pull, that lever didn't work well. I said that this finger has completely amputated. Right? Then I realized it was suddenly striking something went wrong with my finger. Then I look at it's bleeding, heavily bleeding. I put my finger into a mouth like this. Then I walk out from the gym. Then I realized that I lost this part of the finger. Then I went out. Then I realized I need to get the balance, the part. Then came in. Then I got the whatever the loose part. I put the handkerchief. Then I draw from one hand. I came home. Then I told my wife to take me to the hospital. Then we went to hospital. So they took the part. Then they fixed it. Looks like a day to fix that. In Australia, it was very difficult to get doctors, unlike here. The consultant didn't come, so he said, it's a private hospital. Then they said you have to wait until he comes. It was very painful, right? It was very painful. If that happens to your client, you'll be in the jail. You have not looked after the client. They can sue you, right? Therefore, that's also the aspect you need to think. But now this finger is not working. This I don't have any sensation. These are like artificial. They did the flap surgery. They pulled this one and sit it. So therefore, that thing can happen when you go to work with the clients. Then you need to teach the health literacy aspect, exercise literacy, and coaching role. So it's all in the book. So I'm talking about in the book. Those are the points you need to teach them: health literacy, knowledge and understanding about your own health. Active literacy is once they learn the health literacy, you transfer those skills to active literacy, being active. Then got it? Coach. This is the third part, applied part. Now, when you work as a coach, have a look here, take time. And practically when you coach, define your purpose and focus. And now you have spoken to the client, he has mentioned his barriers and facilitators. Then you both have to have a good communication. Yeah, this is what I am going to do. Initially, I am going to work with your body weight, right? Don't touch the other areas. Very difficult to show the results. The easiest part. Then clearly show them this is what, if you work my programs, you within 4 weeks you will reduce at least 200 to 300 grams, right? So examples of obesity, diabetes and hypertension. Diabetes, of course, it takes 16 weeks to get better results, right? Hypertension, sometimes we have to wait for sometimes. Then the sleep, diet and physical activity. You need to clearly identify. Then the other thing is HbA1c. It's easy. Again, HbA1c, if a person comes with the diabetes, within 3 months, 12 weeks, you can handle with the HbA1c, right? You can reduce the HbA1c. It's successful. All the clients come to me, I have proven the results, right? It's very success. Exercise, the only way that you can put the HbA1c down. And especially diabetes. These are the target population you need to work. These are the areas you can work. These people they don't have any condition. There are some metabolic risk factors in the syndrome with them. Also, you can work with the post-hospital and rehabilitation patient, workplace wellness, as mentioned earlier, corporate sector, and older adults waiting to stay, right? Older adults, that's a very good area to work. Older adults. Now, identify the coaching model. Are you going to do one-on-one session or group session or hybrid model? Hybrid model in the sense, initially you take one by one in, right? You take one, then they go and tell the other people, yeah, that my coach is very good, they are coming. I did same thing. Even Mr. Lakshman Kadirigama, when I was in Sri Lanka, here, he came for my program in the morning. Someone knows, because then that message went across. Right? A lot of people came for my morning program in Sri Lanka. Then the 101, either you can do 101 or you can do group, then hybrid. But all depends on how much you get. But in our part of the world, it's money. So everything is money, nothing, no free lunches. Those are the areas you can work. This is important to show your results. Now, health status in the morning, you need to talk to your GP, your client's GP, tell them to get a blood profile and tell them to bring your blood profile and show them this is where, when you came to see me, this is the situation. Then the physical activity levels, you can measure. There are small questionnaires to measure your level of physical activity. Can you remember, I have mentioned in my previous program, 150 to 300 minutes per week, right? Whether they are going to, they can achieve that or whether they have been achieving 100 to 150 to 300 meters. You can measure with, there are small questions, measure that. Then readiness to change, like either trans-theoretical model or any model you can use based on the barriers. Then personal goals, set the goals, ask him what goals you want to achieve. Then important thing, you are the expert, you need to think about this is the ideal model for him. He doesn't know, client doesn't know whether he's going to sit with me, any of this socio-ecological model or social cognitive theory. So then reading that, then you will sit into one of the models. Then action plan. So action plan is either exercise, diet or stress management. Ask him, so take one at a time. Best thing is to go with the exercise plan, which is free, right? Exercise is free. It doesn't cost any money. If you're going to change the diet, people doesn't do. It's very hard to change that. They change the diet. Once you lose the weight, then they are scared. Then they realize, no, I don't want to eat because I'll gain my weight. Understood? So therefore, go with the exercise, lose the diet. Then the stress management is once they lose their diet, exercise, they develop endorphin in your body. So they get automatically motivated, self-motivation, right? And then progress tracking. Tracking is very important. You need to have a sheet of good log sheet and measure their weight, blood pressure, and activity goals and reflection journal, reflection notes. Because normally what I do is I check their weight initially and after 4 weeks, every week I check, then I show them with a graph. Here, look, you came with the 100 kilos, now you are going down. He gets very well motivated. He's enthusiastic, right? That you need to show. Otherwise, they don't come to you. Then the blood pressure also, you can measure blood glucose. Then the reflection. Normally we tell them to write something. After exercise program, they can get the notes into their telephone. Then I check the telephone. So what do you feel? That when I went home, I was very comfortable. I had a good sleep, and I was not very grumpy. And I'm working very well with the people. Likewise they tell. You can ask what was the feeling before and after. That is very important. Cheapest way that they write because they are paying. And you need to develop a tool and resources, client handbook, tell them to have a small booklet. I think exercise tracking sheets, as I mentioned earlier. The health education materials. Health education materials is like reader friendly, like health literacy based. Don't put all the jargons, like the way I wrote the book. Talk to them layman language, right? Write something layman. What is the benefit of exercise? What are the walking benefits, right? Likewise, you need to get that type of documents and show him. So I'm going to send Dr. Asela one of the things that I have developed to share with my clients. So then you can ask from him, or if you put your emails, then I'll send that. It's a very nice one. It's a reader-friendly document I'm having. So likewise, you need to have some information to read them, right? Don't don't try to take from the internet like Google. Sometimes they are not evidence-based. Some people they write, they are not trustworthy. Be very careful taking. Either journal law, someone who's having authority. And look at the name. This fellow has any authority to write. Otherwise, don't do that. So then I will send my whatever I have written to Dr. Asela that we can share you, right? Or if you go to my my Google website, that is there. You can read and download. Yeah, before I forget, so I do same thing. Recently, I have started writing one of the leading journals in Middle East. So it's called Middle East Health. Then after looking the book, they reached me. They asked me, Doctor, can you write some articles to us? Then I have started writing. There are a lot of people they are reading. That articles also then I have uploaded about the health. Middle East, by another 20 years' time, entire Middle East is going to be diabetes and they are going to be overweight. It's a big job. So health coaches have very good future, I'm telling. That is what I'm doing. And physicians, if you work with that, huge amount of money. Right? This is the future. This is the world going. I think we spoke to the director, what's the name? No, Dr. Arjun Tilakanda, the other lady. Yeah, Bal Singh, she also tell me, this is the direction going. The coach is not going to be an athlete, but there are so much opportunities, especially in Middle East. I'm writing to them, that's why I know. The next step is to publish book in India. It's not now India's tonight publishing, Middle East. Yeah, now this is the collaboration. This is our system, integration of coach health team, care plan. This is our care plan. Chronic disease care plan. They work in the care plan. Physicians were doctors, physiotherapists, dietitians, and health coaches were working in the plan. How it works is Doctor gives a referral to health coach. Doctor gives a referral to physiotherapy. Doctor gives a referral to pediatrician. Otherwise, we can't work. We are not legally bound to work, so we can get the government. Government is paying us. So therefore, that's another way of. If you do have a private clinic in Australia, you all can start that. It's a good way. We need to start. We can't do it free. We have to charge money. Do this is a good care plan, and take them into a practice and give a referral. But they need to have certain qualification, I'll show you, right? A referral pathway, that's very important, care plan referral. Without a care plan, you can't control this chronic disease. This, Sally, this is the qualification framework. In order to practice, you need to have a qualification, because it's a liability issue. If you do, without a qualification, we can't practice. You need to have paper qualification. If it's a physician, there are a couple of sessions, units you have to take. If it's a sports coach, there are there are some units to take, and they are being conducted online as well as the in-person. So in my master's program and degree program, we do that. And also I'm thinking of establishing online program using my website. So summary of the lecture. This is the final outcome. Use your coaching skills. This is very important for the world, coaching. Not to train athletes. You need to train athletes. This is the important part. Even the physicians can use their added qualification or added units. A lot of my friends in the physicians, Australian physicians, they work on this field. People who are working with the chronic disease care plan. And they have clinics, they have private practice and government. I mean, ours is private anyway. Yeah, so that's an opportunity. And even if a lot of my students, they go and work in the Middle East, they earn enormous amount of money, better than us. See, and therefore, this is the future going. I'm telling to 2025, no? So wait and see for another 5 years' time or 2 years' time, where the world is going. Try to get your qualification, try to get your profession into a right field. Thank you very much for listening. So both lectures, if any question? Yes, question and answer, Q&A. This is the glossary of terms. Whatever the words I use, this is a glossary of terms. I normally give that. Better to take a picture. Even if you are going to read the book, these glossary of terms are important.
And the behavioral changes, mostly what happen is the trainers, especially the coaches, are looking at it as a sport perspective, right? So we are sending them for the health perspective, but they are training them for the sport perspective. So they are coming back again with the back pain, shoulder pain, and the knee pain. So is there any things to bar that part? Yeah, Coach SL.
Yeah, we can conduct some programs under Coach SL, or we can conduct two sports associations. I think with this stuff you want to do. I can come here, but initially you can do some online. It's very easy, it's online. Even COVID, we taught online. Some kids, they haven't seen the university. Some girls are asking, how does, some girls, they're asking, how does university looks like? All online. The two ways we can do, either we can do it with our program or we can do the sports medicine. You start anytime, I'm so much happy to come. And a couple of my academics, they said, we would like to help Sri Lanka. They personally said to me, tell when you go for a book launch, they're happy to come. I don't think they don't need any money. They come free, right?
So we'll do that. That is the only way. So we'll base the capacity. But we need to have collaborators, like Sports Ministry have to work with us, Health Ministry we have to work with us, right? We need to give them that new approach. We can do that. I'm happy. I'm an expert on that. I'm confidently saying. Confidence is very important. Yes. Any questions? Yes.
I don't know that this may be sometimes out of context as, do you all use emotional intelligence techniques for this?
Yes. Read the book.
Okay.
AI, there's a chapter. It's very important book.
Okay, thank you.
Read the book. AI-based techniques are there. Not a single book is written that, like after last 4 years. That is why I'm challenging. Nobody came so far. So if that is not there, a lot of US-based people, they challenge me. Being an author, it's very dangerous writing a book, evidence-based. They take me and they sue. So I have covered all the aspects. No, but so far I didn't have any problem. They are selling more in USA and Canada. Yes, AI-based programs are there. Little bit, no, I didn't talk much, but I don't want to go to that level. It's too early, you know. But this book is reading age about 30s and 40s. I don't know how much confident to go to AI-based.
Having listened to your lecture, the hour of the need in Sri Lanka is getting more health coaches, right? I think that could be the platform that all the institutions you mentioned to get together and start doing that. Because even for a physician, he should be able to specifically say you can go to these people or whatever it is, out of 5 or 10 or whatever it is. Otherwise what will happen is, as he said, you will go to a sports coach and it will be a disaster. So how do we get about this? How do we go into that area? Because as you rightly said, people are aging, and there is an aging population even in Sri Lanka as well, like in the world. So I think this is something very important where we need to get this off the ground. We can't wait for another 25 years to get it off the ground. How do we get this off the ground by a year or whatever it is?
Yeah, what I believe is because we had the same problem in Australia, and what we did was we have, government ministries, they don't deliver programs. You got to remember, we don't deliver. Only the NGOs are the people who deliver the program. We fund, they deliver, right? I did a similar program like 2 years ago. Government has funded 1.8 billion grant to promote physical activity among senior citizens, right? That's a 2-year program, right? So that was done with Multicultural Association in Victoria. So they did this program, so you simply don't get the money. You have to write a proposal. And get it. Then after finishing the project, the Sports Australia is like Sports Ministry, so they contacted me, Dr. J, they call J, that's how they call me, Dr. J, can you do this evaluation program, right? Program evaluation. I said yes, but they asked me how much. I don't want to mention how much I got them. So I have bargained. They said I will give. I said no, I can't do it. You need to maintain your professionalism. So then they gave me. I have conducted 6 months of program evaluation with both quantitative and qualitative evaluation. Then I found there are certain gaps. When you do a program, you can't achieve all the objectives. We had 5 objectives. But some of the objectives partly achieved. That's fine for me, right? Then I recommended, so we need to conduct more and more programs right throughout Australia to get out this. But the problem is they didn't have any sports coaches. So therefore we started promoting. Likewise, I think best forum is our Sports Medicine Association, isn't it? And we need to collaborate the lady is going to meet me when I come back 17th. We are going to sit and director, minister, they all asked me to come and we'll discuss the program. Immediately we have to start, sooner than later, I'm telling. I'm there to help. I have a curriculum. I have already developed a curriculum. It's there, it's with me. It's all in my hand. If you want to see, it's in the computer. 30-hour course, right? Not free. Remember, you don't give anything free. Well, otherwise, it doesn't go to their brain. Right? I'm happy to do that. That is the only answer. I can come at any time.
Yeah,
It takes only 8 hours to go, no, 10 hours to come here. I can come Friday night. I can do the program here 2 days. Then I can leave Monday afternoon. You don't need to pay me. It's free.
Yeah, the other thing is, for his answer is actually, I mean, even if you go to our coaching system in Sri Lanka, like, you know, the coaching started from the family. Your first and the best coach is your parents. That's the concept in Europe and all the other things. The other problem in Sri Lanka is actually we don't have a standard coaching education system in Sri Lanka. So we don't have a primary coaching education courses, because here and there, like, you know, coaches are there, some IAAF people do, some other coaches, ICC coaches doing level 1, level 2, level 3. And if you go to Australia also, these courses are there. But on top of that, they have every coach has to go for their systematic national coaching system. There's a primary, secondary, and then you can go to any other things. They are where actually this knowledge and this interdisciplinary approach above the multidisciplinary approach, but we don't do the multidisciplinary now. It is the interdisciplinary approach, and these concepts are coming on. Even the health coaching, these concepts are being, you know, given as an insight. So I think, as you correctly said, now it is high time to, you know, as professionals, to get this system established, and we can start in a small scale. Like, you know, best platform is, as you said, correctly mentioned, Sports and Exercise Medicine, you know, Sports Medicine Association of Sri Lanka, because I think almost all the doctors who has got qualification here as well as overseas qualification, they had their overseas qualification in best centers in the world, like UK, Singapore, Rangana had South Africa, the best centers, and Germany, Austria, and also, you know, Australia, New Zealand, and all these things. Because I think now it's a time to collaborate, as you correctly said, and move forward.
Yeah, now give me a couple of minutes, Asela. What I felt is, in Australia, Sri Lanka, they work isolatedly. You know, they work isolated. They are not working as a team, right? The team concept has to be there. Even my book and even my presentations, we work with all the experts around me, right? We don't do individually. It's a team effort. So that concept we have to do. That somebody have to take the leadership. Somebody have to mentor, like me. We can tell them this is what we are going, because, you know, they got the exposure. Then we don't know which one to eat first. They're all in the plate now, right? So we are in the plate, but we need to have sufficient time to plan. So we are going to talk all this aspect. The minister want to see me, then the director, then the physical activity that in charge of that. When we are going to come after 17th, and we'll discuss. We'll draw a plan. The best platform we don't need to get anybody from any other countries. You got plenty of knowledge. You need to work on that. And we can be a best hub in here. I know in India now, I'm working very closely with India. They're crying for my book. They're pushing, doctor, can we do it? Can we do it today? So likewise, we have a good hub. We'll build a good hub. We have knowledge. Everything is here. Only the leadership.
Okay, Janta, we have to hand over there.
Yeah.
Any questions?
Yeah, just to add something to your lecture, Janta, something I want to add to you. I think this move to heal should go into school curriculum. That should be the first step is the school for any child to, develop his abilities. So I suggest you, when you meet the minister, you suggest him, I mean, must find some space in the school curriculum
to include this move to heal. Thank you.
Yeah, because Asel and me were thinking to do another program here, but I don't think I have time to do that, that physical activity measurements. And we'll see, whether I can't contact the Minister of Health, I don't know anybody. If they contacted me, I'm willing to help. That, if they contacted me while I'm here, I'm willing to, I can develop the curriculum.
Okay, thank you very much. I know the concept and the topic what we discussed. I mean, we'll be able to, stay here until 5 o'clock, and, it's a kind of, thing that we can explore and put your ideas and coming to a consensus or whatever, whatever. So thank you very much, because, ideally this session should be stopped by 11:30, could have, but it has gone, I know, with all these things. I know your enthusiasm and also the, your insightful thoughts, and every time you want to put it back in the right platform. So this has become a, very fruitful discussion, and I mean, we are lucky to have you here, and thank you very much. I'm the culprit to bring him here and, push him to know you have to come and do this thing for us, because on top of that, actually, we received a lot of good feedback, and, you came in numbers, the quality crowd, and also we could do a very good program. And we are very proud of you, Jayanta, and coming back here, because I want to tap him before he, taken up by the Indian, the soil. I know once the Indians are, taken up, so we'll have a very minute chance to, get this thing into. But before that, I'm also very sure in sometimes, because association him for a long time. So get the things in the right time at the right point. Otherwise, if we miss this bus, we all would have to, now we have done our thing. Thank you very much for all the way, and your wife, and all your team, friends, especially your relatives, and everyone. I must thank the institution and my the sponsors. Without them, actually, we could do this. With all these financial constraint and everything, it's very costly here to book and everything. But they generously support us. So thank you very much for being here and involved in this discussion. And I'm sure with all your support, through his experience and also world acceptance, his position, we'd be able to, move forward, and we'll be able to do whatever the things. At least 10% of what we are taught, if we can do it, we can hand over to the next generation to, continue. I think no one will be able to do everything. So that is the, we have a limit, we have our own, the resource limitation, the capacity limitation, and also the everything, comes into come. So anyway, before you fading off, he has done his job, not locally, not in a provincial manner, not in a district manner, not in a school manner. It has gone to the globe. So we try our best to at least to do something out of 10% what he has done, right?
Yeah, 10%.
We'll try our best.
We'll try our best.
Okay.
The
And
capacity building is, as you said, that's the number one.
Yeah.
Nothing else. We'll do it.
Okay, so 4 minutes left, then we wind up this session. Okay, so I think it's time to wind up, and thank you very much. So he has to go back to Kandy to see his family. And again, I mean, I want to, because without you, there's no forum here, like no session like that. So that's the highlight. And thank you very much, Jayanta, and thank you very much all the participants again. And we'll meet up again. Till that, goodbye, everyone.
Yes, I forgot to tell something in the presentation. I'm going to do a few lectures in around the country. I'm going to do one in Anuradhapura. So they've organized a Kachari and provincial secretaries. I'm going to do, and also I'm going to do another lecture for the Bar Association here. And there's another one they have organized in Jail. So while I'm here, I'm trying to help everyone and go. Thank you very much for coming.